Welcome to Let's Talk Jets Radio.
Mr. Primetime.
Thank God, only 4 more weeks to this shit.
We're starting it off like that right now?
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm looking forward to this. This is how we start. I love this channel for all the positivity.
Yeah, my bad then. Sorry.
See, and we have an intro. See that, Dan? We are stepping our things up right now. See, and now
Becoming professional.
Yeah, I mean, so we appreciate all the support. So tonight is all about the guests, the callers. So we will share the link.
You missed some doozies last week, man.
Did really? I heard.
Oof. Left me in the trenches taking grenades, man. It was rough.
I heard there was some controversy where somebody had a bad call and he got picked on or something like that, or I don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, what do you think is going to happen if you call in and you don't watch the game, and you're talking about and you're talking about the highlights that you watched? Well, from Zach Wilson's highlights, I thought he looked okay.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't on that.
And that was the second time too. So I let that call go for as long as I could. You wouldn't have been as nice as I was.
I'm always nice, man. Come on. So what's up, everybody? Ryan, what's up, man?
What's up, Ryan? Thank you again for the mini hoodie. I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan sent me a nice ass UFC shirt, man. So thank you for that. So what is going on, everybody? So what we're going to do is before we go to calls, I have some news, and it's not good news about our shirts.
Fuck.
So what we were trying to do, our goal with the shirts, we sold 130 shirts. We sent the money to Mark, the toy drive. They have it. Our goal was to mail these shirts out before Christmas. So we found out today that the vendor that we're using is dealing with a COVID outbreak. So they are very, very short-staffed. So we had an opportunity to get the shirts possibly on the 22nd or 23rd. We offered to pay more. I offered to pick them up. But if we did all of this, to mail them out on Christmas Eve or day before Christmas Eve really serves no purpose. It would have been a complete nightmare to do all of it. So the best we can do is December 28th. We're going to have them. So We apologize. I mean, I worked on it. Jay worked on it. We offered to pay more money. We offered to do all kinds of things. I work in manufacturing. We had the same problem in our factory as well, where if one person gets it, everybody, I mean, it's a tough world to live in right now, especially if you're doing any kind of things like this. So I'll post a video explaining all this as well. December 28th, the minute I get and pick them up, we will have them out the door. So we apologize. It's completely out of our hands. We tried everything possible to get it expedited. And we like I said, we offered more money. We offered everything, but there's just not much we can do, man. So
at least it's all going for a great cause, and I'll be home that week, so I can actually help you kind of get those shipped out. So apologies again for that.
Yeah. So the goal is before New Year's. I know the January 2nd game is there. Again, we have people emailing us. I said before Christmas, don't worry about it, and that was the goal. They apologized. We've been scrambling all day, man. I'm like, listen, I'll drive to the facility right now. I'll come pick up some. Like, we offer all kinds of things that it's just at the holidays, man. And the COVID shit's just crazy right now, especially in New Jersey. So it is what it is. So I'll post a video explaining all of it. I hope everybody understands. And the link is coming up right now. Everybody's waiting for it. Tonight is all about you guys. Apparently I ruffled some feathers last night. So whatever. I don't care.
What'd you do last night? I don't remember that.
I don't know. I woke up to some texts this morning like, man, you were in a mood last night. You were going off on everything.
I don't think Snoopy was expecting the backlash. Usually he's a fan favorite in the chat.
Hey, man, you bring out some bad takes. We're here for everybody. So, again, thank you to everybody to help and support the cause. We're doing our best to get them out. And there will be a surprise with your shirt. So stay tuned for that. Because if we offer a delay, we also offer something to try to offer our apologies with it. So you'll get a little surprise.
The Tyson autograph?
Yeah,
legend autograph?
Legend autograph. His autograph is a lot more a lot more important than mine. So we'll do a couple. Let's see what everybody's saying here. Tyson, you destroyed Zach, bro. No, I didn't. It's called fair criticism of the entire team. We went from the coach to the quarterback to all the lines. We pretty much covered everybody. We're pretty fair. So a lot of trusting the process here. We're all doing that. And I guess what we could do is try. I think it's all about the kids. Don't worry. That's the truth for sure. And again, I did the interview with Mark last week. He explained the whole toy drive, everything like that. They have the money. They're doing a lot of real cool things. You can still donate to. We've sent out the link for that. They're doing a lot of real cool things. And once he has videos of all the things they're doing something on this Saturday. They're going to send us the video and they're going to send us the pictures too, so you guys can see that we always offer full transparency here. We don't play any games with that kind of stuff. So let's see what's up, everybody. Hello. Becton's going to be a bust. Wasn't me. This is the chat saying that. I'm not saying a word. So who do you want to start off with, Primetime? I'll let you choose. Tonight is all about the callers.
Let's start the show off right. Give me somebody good. I don't know who's in the chat right now. Want to go with Trav? Let's go with Trav.
No, you know why you can't do Trav? Let me tell you why you can't do Trav.
Why not?
Because Trav won the VIP treatment. He's like, yo, can I get the link ahead of time so I can come on early like Steve does? So the answer is absolutely not the Trav.
I was just picking the guy most likely to fight with you.
No, I'm not here to fight. I'm just here to get along, but definitely not Trav. He won a VIP. VIP means you're end of line in my book. I'm never VIP anywhere. So why should anybody else be?
All right, so let's go with Chris. He had a solid call last week.
Chris, it is. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, guys? I didn't watch the game this week, though. I'm just fucking with
Don't mess with me.
How you doing,
So,
man?
I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, though.
No. I mean, what I could say about this game is I don't think I've seen a more forgettable game than this game on Sunday.
Yep.
Like, it was something that was just there. I mean, fill in the blanks. Another horrible angle on an Ashton Davis attempted tackle. Another couple, bonehead plays. I mean, it's what we're going to do for the rest of the year.
What were your thoughts on the time management for the end of the half?
But why go in with a timeout in your pocket? Like, you want to see like these guys learn something week after week, and like you'll see one thing, be like, okay, here's another small piece. They're starting to get it, and then shit like that, it makes you think, nope, maybe they just lucked into whatever they guessed the last time, where we thought things were going in the right direction.
And it's funny because it seems like anytime we compliment them on something, like we walked away from the Eagle game, giving them the benefit of doubt and complimenting a lot of things. The minute we compliment them, the next week they offset all of that by doing the complete opposite. Zach played well. Zach played bad. Time management was good. Time management was bad. It's just like it was like the complete opposite. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so I was thinking about this, and I really hate doing it, but it seems like it's a tradition, like draft nonsense. I think 2020, we could agree for the most part, maybe aside from Bryce Hall, and if Becton comes back and actually improves something, maybe him. But 2020, disaster. 2021 does seem like we have some foundational pieces that we could lean on. So one bad, one good for Joe. What do you think? Are you more optimistic for what he can do in 2022? I mean, without going into detail, because save that kind of content for the offseason when you want to pump out more. But do you have more confidence than that, or what?
No, I don't, because here's the problem. What's going to happen with the 2020 class is that's going to get blamed on Gase. That's where Joe Douglas says, this wasn't really my draft. Gase had a lot of say, and I'm not saying if it's true or not, but that's going to be him kind of washing his hands of that. Like, nope, not really my problem. Yeah. Okay, fine. You want to do that? This year's class,
I could definitely agree with that with P. Ryan. And I mean, you could argue some things for Mims maybe not being the type of receiver you want for like that Shanahan style offense. But I mean, take out the style of what kind of receiver you want. I mean, I think all of us were like hoping for Mims, and like every one of us that was clamoring for him looks like a fucking fool.
Yep.
Because you have a chance. It's unfortunate everything happened to Corey Davis, who wish you saw something from him too throughout the year more than you did. Elijah Moore, who was on an absolute tear and like validating everything that we ever said about the guy, from what all of us have seen, from the training camp practices, if we, whoever was lucky enough to go seeing that in person, finally seeing that all start to click on the field. and like we're hoping we see from Zach putting all this stuff more consistently. But I mean, like that dude looks so lost out.
So let me ask you
Like,
this then:
it
do you have more confidence in Joe Douglas to execute the draft this year, or to put together a solid free agent class, which he has not done in 2 years?
I think this year, man, I don't want to bitch out of the answer. I really don't, but I feel like I'm going that way. I do. I feel like I have more confidence than not. I do. I think if only for the fact that he realizes he can't play these super conservative moves and like trying to outthink. Like now's the time. Like you need to start shooting your shot and trying to bring in big name players. And I'm not just talking about like throwing money at the wall and let's see what sticks. To some degree, you're almost going to have to, though. I think we all agree that. But like, try your best. If like,
did you agree with the John Franklin Myers contract right now?
What was that? I'm sorry.
The John Franklin Myers contract. Your thoughts on that right now?
It was a lot. It was a lot. Like, I think I'm still kind of clouded from the fact, like, I was finally happy to see like one of our guys, and you know, he wasn't here to begin with. I get that, but someone who put in the time,
taking care of one of your guys is Quinnen Williams, not John Franklin Myers.
No, that's one of McCagnon's guys. That's not one of Joe Douglas' guys.
But like a long, he's been here with the Jets his entire career.
I agree, and I don't think. I mean, all things considered, Tyson, did you really think that you were going to see a Quinnen Williams deal like right then and there? I think that's one of those like.
I didn't think I was going to see a John Franklin Myers deal after 3 games.
Yeah,
$15 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. I think he was right in the trajectory that he put on a couple of games before, and I mean, it's unfortunate that he seemed like he ghosted for a little while.
Well, let me ask you this, not to cut you off. Like,
go ahead.
if he hadn't signed that contract, based on his numbers right now, which are what, like 4.5 sacks, 4 sacks, something like that, what do you think he'd be worth on the open market? Not what the Jets gave him, I don't think, right?
No, a lot less. I mean, unless someone wants to cherry pick, you're going to have people that will want to cherry pick the good, or you'll want to have people that are going to cherry pick the bad. It's all what kind of outlook you're going to have with it, I guess. But I mean, I mean, it's preaching to the choir, because you guys have been preaching it now for I don't know how many weeks, and I mean everybody else too. No matter where you turn, like we need such an influx of talent on both sides of the ball. And I mean, looking at that McShay's freaking first round, like that's terrible. Like I don't think that's the way we need to go.
I mean, we're not going to go too much in the draft talk.
No.
You asked a question about Joe Douglas, and my question is this: my answer is this: you give him credit for the trades. He got good compensation. He's known for his trades. He gets credit for that.
Yeah.
The draft last year was terrible, but he's going to wash his hands of that and say it was Gase. Free agency overall has not been good. So now the argument that everybody has now is, oh, well, is Saleh not a good coach, or is there not enough talent? Okay, if there's not enough talent, that's an indictment on Joe Douglas. And the problem you have is a lot of the talent that's here this year is not going to be here next year. So this rebuild is almost getting delayed again, because all these one-year deals were guys that actually aren't even playing that well. So they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
Like Jared Davis had no purpose. He's not very good. They're not going to bring him back. A lot of these guys are going to be gone. So now it's like this whole trust the process. Well, it seems like the process, this is like early year one, and like next year is kind of the end of year one, because it's not like I don't see a huge step next year. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Like I think we still have a long way to go, and a part of that is Joe Douglas's fault.
Now, do you think to a part of that, like let's say we were fully healthy from everything going back to the offseason, do you think? I think we would see a little bit of a difference. Maybe not so much with the offense. I'm not going to say
Carl
a lot
Lawson
with the offense.
Carl Lawson was a big blow, man. That was a big blow.
But between Lawson, between Davis, Becton, like if you get those 3 guys back healthy, plus have a solid draft and maybe add 1 or 2 guys in free agency, there's no reason this team shouldn't be competitive next year.
Yeah,
but
that's
more than enough talent to compete.
I mean, George Fant's played good at left tackle.
Yeah, he's been all right.
Fant's been solid. That's one free pick that Douglas, that he definitely saw that one good. So he could get a lot of shit for a lot of ones that he did sign, but that was one.
Well, and what's funny is it shows you how much fans we don't know, because when they signed Fant, we all made fun of it. Like, Fant sucks. He's terrible. He's this and that. And meanwhile, George Fant bailed this out this year. Without him, Zach would be playing even worse than he was because the line would have been a complete disaster.
I mean, McGovern's, all things considered, he's not looking as bad as he did last year either. I mean, certainly room for improvement. Not gonna say like, oh my God, instant starter. Don't think about touching that position for next year. But he's looked a lot better. And I'm curious to see once you start seeing a lot of these grades come through after the doctor starts qualifying for some of these statistics, where the differential is for, as opposed having to pick up the slack that GVR is doing, for as shitty as he was playing, and to see now, like, that's a noticeable difference, because the fact is that GVR could be suffering everybody around him. And I think we all knew to some degree, there was a lot of plays where that was the case, because he was so bad, so bad.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is like, GVR was a guy that they doubled down on. They brought him back this year. Like, okay, we're fine with him. And now obviously the whole Cameron Clark thing was unfortunate, but Danny Feeney was never going to be a competition for anybody. So basically,
Alex Lewis too. They doubled down on him too.
Yeah. So like that was they felt comfortable with Greg Van Roten, and right off the bat we know he wasn't good. So that was a kind of a failed experiment there with them as well. But Chris, thanks for calling us, man. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Have fun.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, the Joe Douglas topic is really, really interesting, man, because there's it's it's built through the draft. Well, the first draft you had isn't good. This year you're starting to see some really good players emerge, which is awesome. But you need like 2 or 3 classes like that. So that's more of your rebuild. So if you're going to keep waiting through that, even like your fringe free agent signings, like your little hold the fort guys, they've got to be legit contributors. It can't be like Van Roten, Alex Lewis, and Jared Davis. You got to get more out of these guys.
In theory, yes, it should be 2 or 3 classes. But when you factor in the Jamal Adams pick, which we probably thought was going to be a late first rounder, which is now a top 10 pick, you got Carolina somewhat early second round. I think they got a few extra 6th round picks as well. So you got more than enough draft capital to make something happen this year and add multiple starters at positions of need.
But it still takes, even when you draft them, it's going to take 2 years to get the young players to be like, legit getting everything going. So if Zach is a bust, Douglas and Saleh are probably going to get fired, I guess he's saying. I mean, that's how Joe Douglas is ultimately going to get evaluated. It's the coach and the quarterback. That's all that matters in the NFL right now.
Do you think he can survive either one of them not working out? Would he get an opportunity to replace them? No.
If Zach Wilson bombs out, Joe Douglas gets fired. Period. That's it. That's you're getting paid, man. You're second pick in the draft. You're getting paid to pick a guy. You had your choice about, especially if other guys after him play well. He'll be long gone. So
if Zach Wilson becomes a stud next year, but Saleh's, the defense is still not doing good, and he's still giving you the bullshit in the press conference, you wouldn't think Douglas would get a chance to hire another coach?
I think Saleh come back another year. I do, man. That's kind of what I don't know. We'll see. Who do you want to? Let's say we'll go to what we got here. Let's try Joe the Jet G. It's a long name, man. Ooh. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? Horrible game last week. Horrible game. I mean, losing to Taysom Hill, getting blown out by Taysom Hill, of all people. I mean, it's like getting blown out by Tim Tebow. I mean, I remember that happened back in 2011, was it?
I remember that too, yep.
Yeah, it was a terrible game. Zach Wilson, I mean, terrible game, inaccurate, just easily rattled. There was one throw, it was like a check down throw. It just made me go nuts where he just bounced past it to Braxton Berrios. And I'm like, is this basketball or is this football? I mean, come on. He made the same throw last week and it was perfect. And then the week before he airmailed it. And it's just showing me that the guy is just inconsistent with his throws. And it might be more of a mental thing.
I don't know if you saw on Twitter. I mean, I was thinking it was the mental thing also. And then Orlovsky did a breakdown on a few of those, or the one throw, I think it was to Ty Johnson or a running back coming out of the backfield. It wasn't the Berrios throw, but he was in a similar vicinity where it's like his lower half is almost just like gliding towards the target instead of actually like using his whole body to make the throw.
Yeah, and it makes you
work on. You would think with 4 quarterback coaches, they would see those things, but I don't know.
Yeah, it makes you think like they hired John Beck to improve those things, right?
Yep.
And it's just still a mess. And it just makes you think like, why are you hiring 4 quarterback coaches if he's still making the same mistakes, the same inaccuracy mistakes?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just it's not good. I mean, if he keeps this up in 2022, I know this is a little too soon to like jump off the wagon, but if in 2022 he's making these mistakes, the inaccuracies and everything, Salah and Douglas might be gone, and we might be going through another change again. We might be heading.
Well, see, there's two things. You still have 4 more games this year that he's gotta show something, man. Like it's just he's gotta show some kind of ounce of, like, you saw a little glimmer in the Eagle game. This Sunday was a disaster. But like we can't keep, like, you gotta help him do more. You gotta hold him accountable. Like, listen, man, you've got to start cleaning this up. And if not, in the offseason, the Jets as an organization, be like, what is our quarterback coach doing? Do we actually have the right, not LaFleur? I like LaFleur, but is Calabrese the right guy? What is John Beck's value? Like all these different things, because my concern now is he's playing so poorly now where I think he's probably not ready to play. And now it's like, okay, he's overwhelmed. The game is too much for him. He's just swimming and he's panicking. He's anxious. So now, like, this year is like the redshirt year, and next year is like his rookie year where it's like, all right, now he's going to start slowly figuring things out. So now we're going to be going into year 3. Like, I think we're further behind than I think we are, and that's what bothers me, because he's just not ready, man.
And if you look at, you almost have to invest in like some kind of premium backup, somebody that you can feel confident can actually play and push him in training.
1,000%.
You can't just hand him the job next year unless you see something drastic that changes these last 4 weeks.
Yeah, and if you look at like what Mac Jones got drafted into and what Justin Herbert got drafted into. Heck, even Joe Burrow got drafted into a pretty good situation, even though they were the worst team in the league that time. I mean, Joe Burrow had Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, and A.J. Brown at the time he got drafted into. There were still good situations, good offenses that were implemented. So I kind of agreed with Primetime at the time. Maybe we should have like not stuck with Darnold as a long-term answer, but more of as like a bridge to like another quarterback that we could just build before we draft, before we draft the quarterback, but we didn't. We decided to.
Well, see, and once they decide to take this route, which I respect Primetime's idea of what he's going about, but I'm like, I agree with the point I agree with taking Zach Wilson. What I didn't agree with is exactly what Kevin said. The minute I draft Zach Wilson, I have Nick Foles sitting right next to him, or I have a guy that can sit in training camp and in offseason OTAs, everything, go throw for throw with him. Push him, show him how to get in out of the huddle, compete with him, and push him, and say, hey, you know what? Zach's making this little flash throw, but this guy's making it, like, you have somebody else there. And then if you're in a spot where Zach is playing terribly against whatever, the Patriots or whatever else, you know what, man? You're out. He's in. Like, you have some wiggle room. You have some flexibility. Or you can say in training camp, whatever, because what we tend to forget, in the preseason, he played no number one defenses. When he went against the first string of Green Bay and in the Eagles in practice, he got his ass beat. But then when the preseason came, he played all the second and third stringers because the starters were all out. So we didn't really get a chance to see him go against a first-string defense in preseason. But the Jets would have had an opportunity to say, you know what? This kid may not be ready, which, you know what? Maybe we'll start Nick Foles or Joe Flacco, whatever, to start the season and then get him to come in, because Justin Herbert wasn't starting. Tyrod Taylor was. So, like, the Jets, I agree with taking Zach Wilson. How they handled it, I don't agree with. And now we're kind of dealing with some with that now.
Yeah, the bigger concern for me was just how they handled everything. Like, it didn't seem like, I mean, we were only there for like 4 or 5 days, but it didn't seem like through that training camp with what we were watching on the field that you could get a true evaluation of whether or not he was ready for game speed action at the NFL level.
Well, here's the thing. This offseason, in my opinion, is important, for Joe Douglas and everyone involved. For what I want to see this offseason, I want to see not crazy spending, but just make your mark. Just spend on 3-year deals, not 1-year deals. Look, we're going to lose guys this year. Yep. We're going to lose Crowder. We might lose Cole. I hope we pay Berrios, to be perfectly honest, just because he's been so good as a returner. And, last time we had a good returner was, what was his name? Roberts from 2018.
Andre Roberts.
Yeah, Andre Roberts,
Pro Bowler, right?
Yep.
Well, he was a Pro Bowler. Yeah, and we got rid of him. He walked right out of the door. Look, we need to put in a good type of philosophy here. Bring in the right guys, bring in quality guys, bring in leaders to just cement the entire team, cement the offense, cement everything, and put it around your rookie quarterback and cement your foundation. But
listen, I agree with you, but right now, like, this is Saleh and LaFleur's first year on the job in this system to identify what they actually have on the roster. Okay, here's this pile of clay we have. How are we going to mold it with all these players, and what is it going to look like? Okay, well, we've seen what it looks like, and a lot of things don't look good. So you know what now we realize is, okay, we need a fucking tight end in the worst way. You cannot have this offense with three guys that can't block and can't catch. That's priority number one. The other thing we learned is, okay, we love Michael Carter, but behind him, we have nobody. Ty Johnson can't be counted on. Michael P. Ryan's not going to be here. Austin Walters fast, but whatever. So you need a running back. Then you're like, okay, listen, if you have, Crowder's going to be gone, Cole could be gone, Berrios could be gone. You're going to need receiving help. Like, you got to add pieces, but legitimate pieces. Don't give me some guy like Tyler Croft was a nice guy, but listen, it was like low risk, high reward guy. I want the high reward guy. Like, I want known commodities now. Like just say like a Zach Ertz, but younger players like that, where you like, you know what? I'm giving my quarterback a legitimate tight end that we can count on week in and week out. Shit like that.
Impact players and guys that are going to be here for multiple years that they can grow together with. Not
what? A guy I would love, but not particularly overpay, but like give like a good, decent contract to. Is Chris Godwin a free agent? I think he's a free agent. I would love to bring him in. I would love to bring at least Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, or I don't know if Juju's available, but I don't know. That's a lot to be this. Yeah, he's hurt.
Hurt all year.
I would love to bring one of those three guys in. At least one of them. I mean, we got to at least try to give Zach a weapon. And yes, a tight end, definitely. Tight end is a quarterback's best friend. Yep. I mean, for crying out loud, when Chris Herndon was, at least decent, in his rookie season, Donald knew how to get Herndon the ball. And that's like the first thing Wilson would look for if he had a tight end, a quality tight end. Well, and that's something that we need.
It's a hole in the offense.
Security blanket.
The tight end's your safety valve. When in doubt, throw the middle to the guy in the middle. And you have all these moving pieces. It's a big hole in the offense, man. So they have to make so many moves, man. And it's going to be interesting, but Joe Douglas has his hands full, but it's wild, man. So thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
You too.
Good night.
Excellent call, man. That was really good. So
a lot of start the show.
Yeah, a lot of names in the chat. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't know the status of free agents right now. I haven't looked at any of that shit right now because we're still during the season. I kept saying today, I'm like, I can't wait till December. We could actually talk like playoff scenarios instead of talking draft, free agency. We've been doing this for 2 weeks already. Like
it's so hard to get into the draft and free agency this time of year. I know it's like the only thing we have to look forward to, but I'm with you. I'm ready for some competitive football and
I'm out
from coaches and players.
I'm out for Miami. I'm going to Atlantic City instead.
There you go.
Yeah, I got a little. Yeah, I can't do it. So let's see. So we put the link back in there. We're gonna go to KD. What's up, man?
What's going on, fellas?
How you doing?
What's up, man?
How you doing? Just to reference the last dude, right? So he was talking about receivers. I mean, you see Allen Robinson with Fields. Not really going well. Only guy we're going to go after if we're going to go receiver is Vontae Adams. If he don't want to go with Rodgers.
Yeah, but
is he going to come here?
Yeah, he won't come here, man.
I don't care if we got to overpay, bro, because you see Diggs with Allen, like shit like that. That's how we can.
The problem you're going to have, though, is Devontae Adams isn't going to go from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson. He's going to want to go to another prime quarterback with a top-level offense. He's not coming here, man.
Unless they win, then he could just go after money. But that's another point. I mean, Zach played like shit on Sunday. I'm not going to lie. Played garbage. But
he did.
He did, bro. He was missing easy shit, and it was depressing. I'm not going to lie. And
so your thoughts on this? Is it because he doesn't have enough help, or do you think Cole, Crowder, is that enough for him to be able to work with?
Bro, he said it himself. He said, guys missing is not like I should still be able to make these throws. He said it out his mouth, so fucking do it. Like, I mean, I'm behind Zach, but you can't and the shit is, I got there. I was watching. I was at the game. He was missing shit in warm up, bro. He was missing shit in warm up. He was missing easy shit, 7-on-7, no blocking, no nothing. I don't know if he's afraid to hit because, y'all saw when he tried to run and he slid well before people got to him.
Yeah.
Maybe like he's taking hits. Maybe he's afraid to get hit. Like I don't know.
I think he's just overwhelmed, man. I think he's not trusting his eyes. He's not trusting his arm. He's worried about committing a turnover. He's worried about so many things right now. It's like make the throw, make the read. Don't do this. Don't do that. He's probably like worried about so many things. He can't even process. He can't even process at this point. He's overwhelmed, dude. It's just you could see it. Like even like plays. There's times when he rolls out and he's trying to force a ball. There's probably 10 yards he could run. He could literally run for the first down, and he's trying to squeeze his pass in. He's bouncing off helmets and all this other stuff. It's just.
I also wonder how much of the playbook they might be holding back if he's not 100% as far as like rolling him out and letting him do some of the things that he was doing earlier in the year.
For real, for sure. But I mean, he's playing bad, bro. But honestly, man, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about other options for quarterback. He is the best option we have. Like it's not,
he's going to be here next year, man. He's our quarterback next year. It's
at least the next 2 years, bro. Because QB.
So now. This is the question that everybody keeps asking. Do you move Becton to right tackle since George Fant is playing good at left tackle?
Something you got to consider, I think.
Are we supposed to be drafting a tackle? Everybody got us drafting a tackle from Alabama. So we could do that.
But if you already have a guy on your roster, you already have the guys here.
I think he got to slim down. Has to slim down. He keeps getting hurt.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting if you have Fant on the left, Becton on the right. I mean that could be your two bookends if he stays healthy. I don't know.
This could be just a 1 year thing for Fant too, though. So I mean, like this, it's just so hard to predict, bro. Like who's gonna play good, who's not gonna play good. Like
it's a pretty large sample size at this point in the year. I mean, it's been 13, 14 games that he's been there playing pretty well. He's given up like 2 sacks all year.
No, I'm saying, but like on a year-to-year basis, like some dudes play good and then next year play like shit. Like
also it'll be a contract year for him next year. He's on the last year of his contract, so that's a lot of motivation. Yeah, that'd be a lot of motivation to go get paid. You have 2 back-to-back years doing solid at left tackle.
Franklin Myers was an overpay for real, bro.
No kidding.
Hey, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Peace.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling that Becton conversation is going to happen several times this offseason, man. I think everybody's going to be like, should we move him? If you do let George Fant go, you better get a good backup left tackle to back up Becton based on the way he's been getting hurt the first 2 years of his career here. You know?
Or you could just have Becton as your left tackle, Fant on the right side. You bring back Moses, and if something happens to Becton, you do the same thing you did this year and you just slide Fant over again.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So he's overwhelmed just like Saleh. Yeah, the whole Devontae Adams, man. I like Devontae Adams. He's not coming to the Jets. There is no way in hell.
Can't see it.
You're not going to go from a high-flying, one of the top offenses in football to the Jets and say, yeah, I want to play with Zach Wilson. That ain't happening. Especially the way if Zach Wilson was playing like Justin Herbert did, okay. But that's not happening. So next comment, Zach's got the yips. He's in his head. Can't argue with that, man. I think we all can agree to that. Some people are saying he wasn't ready to start. Based on how he's played early on, you can make that case too.
So is that more on him or is that more on coaching staff or
both?
Joe Douglas for not having a capable backup ready?
I mean, is it on him if it's not if he is who he is, man. You come here, you coach him up, he plays the best of his ability. If he's not ready, it's on the coaching staff to take him out and not play him. Yeah. Like they didn't give him any competition. They handed him the job.
No.
You know, it's kind of how it went. So all right, prime time. We got a bunch of celebrities in this. The studio is full of celebrities here.
Oh shit!
So what should we do here? Do you want animosity?
I want Steve. I want animosity. I'm ready for all the smoke.
What's
Happy
up, guys?
Holidays, man.
What's up, Steve?
What's up? How you guys doing? Happy holidays.
How are you, man?
Happy
doing
holidays.
Doing all right. It's just I agree with Kevin. 4 more weeks of this. 4 more weeks.
Are you going to go to any more games?
I'll be at the one in Jacksonville next Sunday.
There you go.
Tyson wants you to come tailgate with us.
But you know, listen, it's just going back to that game on Sunday. It was just. Let me just tell you something. Ashton Davis can't fucking tackle for shit. I don't know. I don't understand why they don't bench him. Why not activate Jarrett Wilson or the other safety?
So wait,
I mean, it should be Elijah Riley, Jarrett Wilson playing.
So wait, what exactly have you seen from Jarrett Wilson that you want to see him play instead of Ashton Davis?
Well, Jarrett Wilson can, for once, he can tackle. Ashton
How do you know
Davis
that?
can't tackle for shit.
How do you know how many tackles does Jarrett Wilson have right now?
not too many because they've been inactivating.
So then, how do you know he can tackle?
Game.
How do you know he could? How do you know who he is when you haven't even seen him play before?
Well, because he played in the game against Buffalo, the first game when May was out with the injury.
Okay,
and he
how'd that
sacked
go for
Allen
him?
in the second quarter.
And what happened after that?
Well,
there's a reason why he's not playing.
I mean,
you realize that, right?
I mean, he just didn't show up for the rest of that game. I mean, Davis sucks though too. Davis, I don't know what it is. It's just Ashton Davis just needs to go to the bench. Period.
Okay.
And the thing is, there were times on Sunday where Zach Wilson was still in out of his head, as you guys were saying, because his throws continued to be inaccurate. He's got to control that, like especially if you're gonna throw the ball 5-6 yards, you don't have to zip line it so fast, like you're throwing darts at a target. You just gotta throw them complete. I understand you want to get the ball out of your hands fast, but it's just make it easier for the receiver to catch a ball. So I understand he's a rookie, but he's got to learn from this.
Okay, prime time.
No, I was just gonna say I completely agree. I think a lot of it's mental, but then the fact that he's rushing, he's thinking so much, it's also causing some mechanics to break down too, and it's not good right now. I don't know if he needs to sit or just needs a full off season to work with all of our quarterback coaches and get it right. I don't know what the answer is right now because he's making the difficult throws, but the easy ones he's making look tough.
Yeah, I know. It's just, and you guys have said this before, even too during the season. We just can't have nice things. That's the other thing about the season. The Jets can never have any nice things.
True.
Why can't we get anything nice?
Well, they're all coming back this weekend.
The NFL hates us?
All our nice things are coming back this weekend. You get Michael Carter back and Tevin Coleman back.
Okay,
Bryce Huff is back.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Elijah
you're
Moore's
right.
not coming back.
I'm excited about having MC coming back.
MC.
MC,
shit.
that's Michael Carter.
We're on
I guess
now.
I got MC and MC the second.
Oh, look at you.
I don't know. I don't know.
I thought it was MC
Here's
squared.
the thing. I like Michael Carter.
So which one's MC?
Michael Carter, I'm not so sure about the other one. I'm just not.
Are you talking about the corner? You're not sure
anyway, no, it's just other things also too was from that game against the Saints. It's just Tyson, you made a good point about that we knew that the Saints were going to run the ball. Oh, this defense is just atrocious too.
Yep.
The defense is atrocious, and we couldn't stop the run at all. If we weren't going to stop the run, we weren't going to win. And look at what happened. Alvin Kamara, 140-something yards. Taysom Hill ran the ball too against us. We can't stop any. This defense is just horrendous.
So I got a question for you. With this awful defense, do you pay Quinnen Williams? Because Quinnen Williams is having, in the eyes of some, a Pro Bowl year, but it seems like when teams run the ball, they go right up the middle of our defense where he seems to be located. Do you pay Quinnen Williams? You give him a fat new contract?
I think I would hold it right now. Give him another year. I would hold it. Not yet.
What's
so
his fifth year
it's a
option
no
gonna
for me
cost?
on that.
It's gonna be expensive, man.
Right?
His fifth-year option is gonna be pricey.
So,
I mean, you got to pick that up though, regardless.
Yeah, but the other thing was too from this Sunday was as well. It's just that the thing is, I'm just sick of the team just being unprepared for certain situations. Like why are we
Braxton
still
Berrios was
points
prepared
in the beginning of the game on opening possessions? I don't understand that at all. Like we just don't come out prepared.
Well, there's a stat like they gave up points on the first drive of the game in 10 of the 8 or 9, I think it's 9 of the games they played so far, some crazy stat. But
yeah,
Steve, what do you do? What do you do with Braxton Berrios? Do you give him a new contract?
I give him a new contract. He's honestly been one of our best players. So I give him a 2-year deal.
Okay, 2 years. How much?
2 years. 2 year, $12 million, $6 million guarantee.
It's a fair deal.
It's not terrible. That. You've gotten better with this.
I was going to say, I was expecting like 25 million, something crazy.
No.
I was waiting for like 2 years, $5 million.
Braxton Berrios is not a top receiver.
One of the
you
two
want to
extremes.
give a player that kind of contract? It's got to be more like someone mentioned earlier, like a Chris Godwin or Devontae Adams. That's the kind of contract you give it to, not to Braxton Berrios.
What did they give Crowder? Didn't they bring Crowder down to what, 3.5 million? What did
they brought him back? Yeah, they brought him down to 3.5. But Crowder is not coming back after this year. The Jets, they're going to move forward from him.
Okay.
I thought
what do you
Crowder
do?
was still making like 5 or 6 million.
Yeah, maybe it was. Maybe it was
Check right
7
now.
down to 5, or what the hell did they bring him down to?
I'm gonna
I
check right
forget.
now. Hold on.
This season seemed like it's taken. This season it feels like a decade for me. It's just been so goddamn long. So what do you do with Keelan Cole? Do you want to bring him back?
Well, I at this point, I'm not sure as of right now. But if I had to say yes or no, I would say no. I mean,
Okay.
I don't mind him. But he's not the best receiver.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's just that this year unfortunately is another lost season. 11 years of not making the playoffs. It's a nightmare right now for us Jet fans that we have to suffer for continuously. And it's just that every week I always get like made fun of. Like, I don't know what you guys go through during the week, but I got people telling me, hey, Steve, guess what? 11 years of not making the playoffs.
Yep.
In my previous job, I had a boss who was a Patriots fan who made fun of me after the Sam Darnold game with the ghosts. It's just, it was just.
So I got a question for you, man.
Going back, dude, it's hard being a Jets fan. I love this team.
I got a really important question. What time do you wake up in the morning?
What time? What does this have to do with with us talking about the Jets?
You'll see in a second. Just answer the question.
Well, I get up early to go to the gym. I mean, some days it's few days during the week I get up at 4:30. Some days I get up at 5. Get up, I go for my workout. After my workout, I get ready for work.
So you're working out at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
That's awesome, man. You should be inspiring prime time right now. Because I was trying to figure out when it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm getting a fucking tweet from you with my Victory Monday. I'm like, what time do you wake up? I'm like, holy shit, man. But that's awesome. That's congratulations, man. That's awesome work ethic, man. That's great.
Yeah, he's already 5 sets down at that point. Well done,
You're
Steve.
awesome.
Yep. So, hey, listen, we just got to get through these next 4 weeks, guys. Just let's get through these next 4 weeks. By the way, primetime, I love that Ranger shirt from last night, man. That Ranger shirt was awesome on you.
So, Steve, the question we have is, if we have a Jets-Jaguars tailgate, which I think we're leaning to because we're just miserable bozos, would you come to it and would you play beer pong with us?
Well, yeah, I could play a game, but I mean, it's just I would have to probably play one game if I'm going to be driving that day.
You can drink water, and you're going to lose anyway. It doesn't matter if you drink beer or water. You're going to lose. I'm just saying, do you want to play?
Yeah, I'll play.
Okay.
Well, wait. How would you know if I'm going to lose? How would you know?
I can guarantee it. I will bet you'll lose. I'll bet you. You want to bet something?
Lose.
I will bet you a Let's Talk Jets Trust the Process t-shirt that I will beat you in beer pong.
Okay.
Wait,
I accept your challenge.
How many beers do you typically drink during a tailgate? I'm just curious.
1.
Usually, if I'm driving that day going to a game, and if I got to drive home, I'll have 1, maybe 2. Yep. But then if I'm not driving, because the time I drank the most was for that Jets Texans tailgate a few years ago. I remember when I came back home.
Is that when you stole all my food?
I was in Newark after the game. I was waiting for my train, and a couple of guys were near me. This one guy told me, "Man, you smell like alcohol." And then when my older brother came to pick me up in the car, he told me, "Steve, what the hell did you drink at the game today?"
That happened.
And I told him, "Well, I had some drinks." And because he smelled all the alcohol from the Jello shots and the beer.
All right, so Jets Jaguars. We have a tailgate. It's me versus you, man. And winner, if you beat me, which will be a complete miracle, you will get a Trust the Process t-shirt, man.
All right, I'll see you at L7. I'll see you at L7.
L5. We don't go to L7. L5.
Oh, you go to L5? All right, then I'll see you at L5.
I'll talk to you later, man.
Man, all right, have a good night. Bye-bye.
That was actually a good call from him. What the hell happened? We didn't even argue. It's like something different tonight.
He's put together a few calls now back to back.
It's ridiculous.
He's stepping his game up. Must be the workouts.
According to Brian Costello on Twitter, the Jets are 8.5 underdogs at Miami, and this is the 26th consecutive game they've been betting underdogs.
Jesus, wow.
The only game they're going to be favored is the Jaguars game, maybe. That'll be the only game.
I don't think they'll be favored for that one either.
Come on, man.
Why would
they can't be that bad?
I mean, unless they're getting all their guys back. I mean, is Elijah Moore supposed to be back for that one?
I think so. Yeah.
He's supposed to be. Yeah, you're right.
Steve, what a good call. I still can't believe this. So Jets are going to play well in Miami this week. A lot of sharp money coming in. Well, they have no running backs right now. They're all on the COVID list. I mean, right now in the NFL, the COVID list is running rampant, man. Like there's what 60 cases today, and now all these teams are doing like they're separating the meetings out. They're not having meetings. It's going to be really
Sal
interesting.
even, Sal even said yesterday that they're not going to have any like full team meeting. It's all going to be like Zoom and virtual. So I'm sure they're going to put together a real solid game plan this week. I'm sure everybody's going to be real dialed in.
I'm like, just especially if you're in like a fantasy football, this is your first week of your playoffs, man. There's big money involved and everything else. I'm sweating some bullets right now. So we're gonna go to Anthony, a sad New York football fan. All right, that's most of us.
Yeah, well, considering my team is a pure dumpster fire, I want to say happy holidays to both you guys. I appreciate listening to you guys every week. Thank you for doing this because you do make the football season worthwhile. You guys know I'm a Jet fan. Have become a Jet fan listening to you guys.
But you're a Giant fan.
Yeah, sadly. And I missed out on the chance of joining you guys in Charlotte when I got COVID, unfortunately. Although watching football, COVID is probably a lot better than watching some of the football we've been watching lately. I mean, seriously, it's bad. Again, listening to you guys has been great. There's not enough alcohol that can help you get through some of these games, but listening to a lot of the callers talk early on, and Tyson, you mentioned it early before the season started. You needed a competent backup quarterback to help bring Zach Wilson along, and you also said a tight end. You both areas. I think if you obviously the offensive line had some holes and what have you, if you could fix those. But if you would have given Zach Wilson a competent backup quarterback to challenge him and maybe, push him to be a little bit better and give him a tight end, I think you would see better production out of him. I have red zone, but I've also watched some of the Jet games. I've seen him make some good throws. And then, like I forget who it was who made the comment about him, that bounce pass he had the other night in the game the other day. And then when the game in the Texans game, when he threw the ball and hit the guy in the back of the head, what have you, there's just, I think knowing you had a first year coach whose primary specialty was defense, you really should have had someone in there who could have really coached him up to get him ready for the season. And I think if that would have happened, it would have been a better scenario for him. Now, again, when he got hurt, I agree with both of you guys saying he should take a step back, let him learn for a few weeks, and look like maybe when he got back, he was still look a little bit limping. I think he came back in the Texans game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He took the one hit and he went over the sideline.
Right. And we was talking about he was looking hurt, but then he had that good game, the week after that where he was looking like he was putting things together. Unfortunately, again, I've been saying this for a long time with both of these teams, it all starts at the top of the leadership and it trickles down. Can we get, if you have competence up where your general managers are at, and I know Douglas, the verdict is still out on him, although I was reading some that they said potentially he's on the hot seat, but you alluded to that before, that he's probably got another year left to prove what he can do, especially with the draft but more importantly free agency. I really think that the Jets need to do what the Mets did this offseason and spend some of that money that you have.
They have no choice, man, because they need a legitimate influx of talent. They need playmakers. They need impact players, because you can't keep waddling in the mud and bring in Band-Aid guys and hold the fort guys. A really cliche you want to use for just average players to try to just get by, because now you're holding your team back. And it's glaring now. Like, you're seeing legitimate holes. Like, this is your 1 year to identify what you have. Okay, listen, we see what we have. We thought we had this. We don't. We thought we had this. We definitely don't. Now you know where all your holes are, and now you have a shitload of cap space, and you have a lot of draft picks. Figure it out fast, because there's no excuses now. Like, Joe Douglas will come back next year, and he should be. There's nobody getting fired. I mean, if you want to debate Ulbrich, whatever, that's fine. But everybody's coming back. But they have to be held to a higher standard now. Like, okay, you've had 2 drafts. Your 3rd draft, it's got to be good. You've had 2 free agency classes that have been very subpar. You've got to nail it, and you've got to bring in. Like, I like the Carl Lawson move. I was a big fan of it. I'm a fan of him. It didn't work out. Unfortunate. Corey Davis hasn't worked out. A lot of these guys haven't worked out. You can't keep spending money and getting no return on your investment. You can't. And now, the funny thing is, every fucking offseason, we say the same thing. this is a big offseason for the Jets. This is a big offseason for the Jets. We got to get talent. We got to get talent. And after that year, we're like, God damn it, we still need talent. We won't get any of it. So the draft class, we see some good things. Free agency, we didn't see nowhere near enough. And now Joe Douglas is he's on the spotlight, dude. He has to nail it. They have to be aggressive. And this is a time where it's like, and there's certain positions that if you have to overpay, like tight end, I'm overpaying. Like now, it's like now you see it's just you have to have it. You can't keep settling.
I think that's the bigger question, though, whether or not Joe Douglas will be willing to deviate off his plan from the first 2 years and actually spend the big money based on what we've seen going from Baltimore. I mean, well, if he's lined with the Baltimore way of doing things, they never really pay big time free agents. So if it's his plan to build through the draft and I'm just going to find good value in free agency, I think that's going to be a problem because who's going to want to come here for as a good value contract?
The problem I have with that, any person that has any kind of common sense or any kind of business acumen knows that you may have a plan or a vision, but sometimes you got to adjust because that vision is not going to get you where you need to be in a timely manner. Yeah. So while you're sticking to your plan and having mediocre results, you're going to get fucking fired. So, okay, listen, this is always my vision, but I have to change that to get here at a better pace. That's the way you work, man. That's just the way life is. And especially in the NFL where everything is expedited now, especially when you keep losing year in, year out.
It seemed like those first 2 years he was so set on doing things the Baltimore way, but this is also the Jets, and we're a team that right now, for the last 11 years, we've been a laughingstock. So if you want to change that culture, you might have to, like you just said, you might have to overpay to bring in some guys that can legitimately change your culture.
And I think, to your point, guys, and with respect to especially the Jets, it's been 11 years since the playoffs have come to pass. The time you want to start bringing these building blocks in now, and like you said, spend now and see what you can put together because you just brought in this rookie quarterback. There was promise at the beginning of the season saying, okay, well, let's see where we can go, and you want to see improvement. So, like Tyson, like you pointed out, these next 4 games, you want to see some improvement out of Zach Wilson and see what he can do, and see if the defense can tackle somebody. I mean, it's watching the defense play. It's like Stevie Wonder's out there trying to tackle some of the guys out there.
But the thing is, though, and just going back to the point, the goal when you have of this whole rebuild thing is you have all these young players grow together. So now you have Michael Carter, Elijah Moore. If you get a young tight end, those are your 3 guys. That's like your little core. Like you have that and Zach Wilson. They all grow like Vera Tucker. They're all going to grow together, become together. That's your nucleus, your culture, your building blocks. Have them all together. That's what you got to start finding. Don't give me fucking Tyler Croft and Daniel Brown and Trayvon Westcott, all these guys that we know aren't any good. Like you got to start. You have to get quality now. It's quality over quantity now, man. Like it's like if you have 35 draft picks, wonderful. If you're going to get 28 just average players that aren't going to be here in 2 years, is it really worth it? Give me 7 studs instead. Then you know what I mean? Like.
And when you have a few of those studs on either side of the ball, it makes things a lot easier for those fringe players or those young guys to develop because there's less focus on them.
Yeah, and it's going to be, we got 4 weeks left in the season. It's going to be very interesting to see how things are going to play out. Again, the Jets. But
the question is, though, before we let you go, man, my personal opinion is I think Gettleman is going to take the easy way out and retire instead of getting fired. He's going to retire and make it easier for the Giants. What do they do with Joe Judge?
I'll be honest with you. Last year, they were competitive. Yep. They've digressed this year. I'm done with Daniel Jones. That experiment needs to go. Yep. I've reached the point where Tyson, you were with Sam Darnold last year. I personally wish I could drive to Jersey and get Gettleman out of the damn building myself. Yep. I think honestly, if the Giants are going to try to do something and change the culture, they need to maybe just clean house and get rid of it. That's what I would do.
Blow it all up, man.
Look,
blow it all
up. I know what's going to happen with Judge.
Look, I've been a Giants fan all my life, and this is probably the worst stretch of football I've ever seen them play. If there's a Giant fan out there that tell me they're playing good football, they clearly don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're playing like
they're
crap.
Unwatchable, man.
Yeah, they really are. The offense is terrible. Defense is, thank God I have my Rangers that are coming on in 8 minutes.
But you know what the problem with Joe Judge is? His press conferences are worse than Salah's. Yeah. He is talking so far out his ass. He's writing himself right out of New York with that kind of shit. And you can't talk like that, man. You can't.
That's why I asked that question yesterday when Tyrone was on there about with Salah and being, having the strings being pulled by Douglas and the Johnsons. I feel like it's the same thing. And you know what? Wellington Mara built that franchise and everything, but his son, he's got questions to be answered too, because all starts at the top.
I'd blow it up, man.
But
Here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to do their general manager search with Joe Judge still as the head coach. They're going to let the GM decide whether or not he wants to retain Joe Judge. And that GM is going to be smart and say, you know what, for the first year, I'm going to keep Joe Judge here because, I mean, that extends his timeline, does it not? I mean, same thing with Joe Douglas. He had Adam Gase here for a year. That bought him another year to kind of set his rebuild in motion, to evaluate the players that are here. That first year is pretty much a pass if he doesn't have his head coach.
Well, so I'll tell you what, if that happens, I will personally make sure next season I drive up or fly up to Jersey so I can hang out with you guys for a Jet game. Again, I'm sorry I missed you guys when you get down to Carolina. I was really hoping I would get, but COVID was killing me, and I'm better now. But
glad you're doing well,
Tyson, good luck with that beer pong challenge. And you know what? I have to say, you could blame me partially for why the Jets lose, because every time I pick them in the parlay, I've been screwed.
Well, have a great night, man. Glad you're feeling better. We'll talk to you next time.
Happy holidays. All right. Take care, guys.
Take care. So we got Steven here. Just pure torture, always on a positive note. Love you guys. Merry Christmas to both of you and all Jet fans. Keep up the good work. Jags. This Jets-Jaguars tailgate primetime could be a little experience for us. But Steven, thank you. We have to do this, man. The Jets-Jaguars tailgate, man. We got to do this. Let's just do it.
Throw it back. Why not?
Let's just go complete chaos. I am good at beer pong. What are we talking about here? Very good at beer pong.
Yeah.
Prime time has the one thing when I was in Dallas, about 25 beers in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I couldn't even see the room, let alone the cups. That was just.
But I mean, do we want to talk about the one shot that you took that wasn't even a cup? It was like a giant garbage barrel, and you still couldn't fucking get it,
man. Come on, the amount of alcohol consumption that trip is not even. I don't know how we're even still alive at this point.
Dude, we killed what? It was a 30-pack in the fucking hotel by like 9 a.m. before the game.
It was just bad, man.
Dude, we had empty cans in the fucking like bathroom sink everywhere.
They were everywhere. We couldn't even get away from them. You wake up, you're like, what? You're like, oh, like
every year around this time on my Google Photos, 2 years ago, 3 years or 4 years ago, I look back, I see like there was the fucking orange that was like half peeled as I'm drinking. Like, dude, I don't know what the fuck was going on this shit.
So thank you guys for all joining us. We'll keep going through the calls. Now I'm taking shots at Tyson's pong accuracy. I'm much more accurate than Zach Wilson. There are t-shirts left. We had the website. It's somewhere else. I don't know. We had the link somewhere, but there are shirts. And in case you guys missed it, I'll be posting a video shortly after the show. Unfortunately, we cannot get these shirts out before Christmas. The vendor that we're dealing with, they're just struggling with the COVID outbreak, man. So like I said, I work in manufacturing. We've had the same problem in our factory. So we offered to pay more money. We offered to do a lot of different things to get them earlier. We couldn't. So December 28th, hopefully, as of right now, that's when they're going out. And once I get them, they'll be out. So that's it. So prime time, we got some big time celebrities here. We're gonna go with Vinny. What's up, man?
What's up?
Good evening, guys. How's everything?
How you doing, man?
I take back everything I said last week. Everything. Remember, I said, I thought that there was a possibility they could triple their win total. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they lose the Jags game, as terrible as that is to say. I really wouldn't, because it would be epic Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was a out and out disgrace on every level from pillar to post. I mean, all I kept hearing all week is, what are they going to do? They're going to run the ball on you guys. Alvin Kamara's coming back. They're on a 5-game losing streak. They know that's your weak spot. And what did they do? They ran it down our throats. The one thing I don't take back of a previous call I did with you guys was the fact that I feel Albert needs to be fired on the field after one of these games. I can't take it anymore. I know they are playing with pure trash out there, but at some point, 400 yards, 500 yards. Is it going to get to 600 yards of total offense that they give up?
They're not going to fire him, though.
So on defense, do you think it's more of like a coaching thing and not like talent?
They're clearly not listening to him. They have no respect for this guy. No respect. I mean,
then at what point does Saleh say, you know what, I'm going to start running shit on defense? Like, this is my bread and butter. This is what I did in San Francisco. I'm going to take control and start calling plays, and I'm going to run it my way.
Prime time, I agree 100%. I'm not at the point where I think Saleh needs to go, because if you can him this year, even if you can him next year, like, really, who's going to want to coach this team? Nobody. The only person that's going to come here is going to be the hot-handed coordinator that just wants to say, hey, I'm an NFL head coach. No Todd big Bowles. Name will come here. Oh, get the hell. I'm not going to start with that,
Run
dude.
it back.
Hell no, dude. That's
But you know what
another
though?
story,
But you know what the weird thing is though? I think this staff will not. Nobody's gonna get fired because they're gonna want to do continuity. This is a rebuild. They don't want to give off the impression that something's going wrong or anything's bad. I think they're so worried about perception right now. Like I just really think so. Like they're not gonna fire nobody. Like you know what? This is our first year of defense. Next year we're gonna be better with better players, and that's how they're gonna roll it, man. I guarantee they're not gonna fire one coach.
Tyson, at some point though, improvement has to be shown. Wins have to matter. At some point, we can't just say,
Next year.
yeah, we're flying under the radar. No. Wins have to matter at some point. So with that being said, what's the win total that we should be satisfied next year? 7? 8?
Yeah, because you know why? But here's the problem you're gonna have is that we were thinking this year was going to be a complete building year for Zach Wilson, where he's going to start off sluggish, start off slow. By the end of the year, be playing at a very decent level. Where you're like, all right, you're encouraged. We know what our offense is. We know what our quarterback is. Guess what? Not happening. So now we're going to go into next year being like, we're not really sure what Zach Wilson is because he can't complete a 5-yard pass consistently. So next year, I think you're going to be in the 5-6 win range because it's all going to rely on Zach taking the next step, which isn't really a big step because he's playing so poorly now.
Wouldn't you agree, though, he wasn't ready this year? Like I said at the beginning of the year, I would have been totally on board. I would have been totally okay if they signed an established veteran. And then when he was ready, ease him into the offense, like by week 7, week 8, when he was ready. Don't just throw him out there to the wolves. If you look at the great quarterbacks out there, the really great ones, they sat, and I know it's not like in the old days, they sat 3 years, but Mahomes sat the first year. Rodgers feel like he sat forever.
But it's not
Eli
even that.
sat for 6 games.
But it's not even that, dude. Like, it's like Josh Allen played right away. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of each quarterback is their own entity. And it's like, you got to look at what you have. Like, this is why I hate that Solomon mentioned Josh Allen earlier on the season. He was trying to, everybody's trying to compare Zach Wilson to everybody else. I don't care what everybody else is. You look at who you have, and what he's doing. When you look at him in practice and you look at him in a game, you're like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what Josh Allen's doing in Buffalo. My quarterback right now in New Jersey is playing like dog shit and looks overwhelmed and he shouldn't be on the field. So that's the most important thing. So if he's not ready to play or he's not playing well, you take him out and say, okay, you know what? Live for another day. There's no rush. We're not talking playoffs. We're not talking championships. We're not even talking wins. Well, none of us expect to win. We're not even mad. We're losing now. We're used to it. So, like, save the quarterback from himself. And they've mishandled it. I think they've truly mishandled him most of the year, dude. It's been a mess. And now we're going to pay for it next year. Because next year, his big step is going to be what? What are we honestly going to expect after what we've seen so far this season? What? Be more consistent. Just, you know what I mean?
You got to give the kids some help, though. I mean, the Corey Davis signing, the way I look at it now, I hate it. The guy drops the ball. He's consistently hurt. I didn't like it all. Denzel Mims is clearly mailing it in. He does not want to be here. I think they got something with Elijah Moore. I would be totally okay if they brought back Cole or Barrios. I think they want to play and they got a lot of heart, but they got to pay somebody established. And if it means paying the jet tax, so to speak, so be it. And as far as tight end goes, where you're mentioning earlier tonight, I don't think you could find a quality tight end in free agency because usually the ones that get to free agency, they're on their last legs. You got to draft somebody high in the draft because playing tight end is a very physical position. I mean, I'm not a draft analyst like you guys aren't, but I would definitely look at that kid from Ohio State at the top of the second round if I have to.
I'm by no means a draft analyst. I can tell you that much.
I didn't mean that in the wrong way, but you know what I'm trying to say. Weapons. Yeah. And you know what? Here's another one that nobody even wants to address. How about getting an established kicker in here? Like
we got one, man. We got the player of the week this week. He's the best player in the field.
He's not here. Man. He is not here. He was kicking line drives.
Don't be discounting my guy, Eddie, man. Listen, that's our guy right now. Shit.
He's not going to be on this team next year. Mark my words.
We wouldn't have scored any points this week.
But it is a position that scores points, and it could be the difference between winning and losing. Let's face the facts here. How many kickers have we gone through since they refused to pay Myers? How many? Too many.
I mean that's a lot of positions, though, man.
But I'm still fine though if like the offense is putting up 30+ points and we lose on a field goal. Like I can deal with that. It's the fact that the offense isn't doing anything right now and your defense is getting shredded and they're out there for 40 minutes a game and we got holes everywhere on both sides of the ball. So kicker right now it's not like the biggest priority for me. Once we're in position to compete, out there. Then you can worry about the kicker and actually starting to win games. Right now, we just got to get back to like competitive football, being in games. Kickers aren't making a difference in half these games right now.
No, you're right, but I'm just saying, doesn't it feel like the offense is hardly out there when you open the game with 3 straight 3-and-outs?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and out there.
Yeah, and your defense gives up points on every first drive. Your defense always gives up points, usually a touchdown. So it's
offense struggles to sustain drives. Defense can't get off the field half the time.
Yep.
I mean, that's a recipe for
true.
disaster.
So it's really unfortunate. But I mean, with the one more point I wanted to make before you guys let me go with Joe Douglas, because I got to say, I really do like the trades. The 2020 draft class, I'm not sold on it. Right now, it looks like it's a mess. But do you think there would be a scenario, say next year, it's like Medza. Maybe he does well, maybe he does so-so. Where do you think they would eventually change his title, keep him in the building? Like, you remember way back when, how long did they hold on to Terry Bradway after he was done being GM?
Yeah, he was working from home half the fucking time.
But
the guy's goddamn beast making personnel decisions.
Why did they hold on to that guy for so long? That was the same guy.
Because the Jets are loyal to the wrong people. That's the problem. They've always
you want me
been
to go
like that.
really far back? How long did they still hold on to Steve Gutman, that other
guy? This fucking team. Vinny, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good stuff, man. Calls
That's
on fire
excellent.
tonight.
Yeah, excellent callers, man. Terry Bradway mentioned. I'm old enough to remember him. I
remember him.
I had lunch with him.
Did you really?
Well, did he know what he was sitting next to? He had no idea. It was one of those fan things. And me and my father ended up sitting next to him. And I'm just like hammering him with questions, dude. Like just hammering. He's probably like, what the fuck? Like this is supposed to be like a charity event. I'm just not ripping him, just to ask him like all kinds of like detailed questions and shit. It's funny as hell. All right. We got Mr. Afram.
Gentlemen, how are you?
Gentlemen, where are they?
How you doing?
I'm trying to get this freaking Ranger game going, but there's issues going on with the ESPN Plus and Hulu. Son of a bitches.
You don't have MSG?
It's not on MSG.
Oh, it's not? Oh, shit.
No, it's on ESPN Plus or Hulu.
I only have my remote on me right now. Oh, shit.
Unfortunately, MSG has the Devils and the Islanders.
That sucks.
What are you gonna do? Get what
It's the only good team in New York minus the soccer team.
That's true.
The Knicks are a disaster. And now Kemba Walker wants to be traded. Is that the new thing coming out now? It's like,
is it really?
He doesn't want to play. Jeez. They're not playing him. He's not on the.
He's not good. He was terrible on defense. He was like 2 steps slow.
They haven't played well since they took him out either. So that's a different.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
So Afram, give us your state of the union here, man. Give us your view of the Jets.
We suck. That's the bottom line. we have no talent. We have no real. It's Scotty. Listen, we have a kid. We had a kid that basically was very accurate in college. It's not accurate now. I think he's got too many voices in his head. I think too many coaches. He should just have one guy and one guy only and focus. And from what I'm seeing, what I'm reading, guys are open. He's scheming guys open. He's just not seeing
We're seeing it, dude.
Yeah, he's not seeing it. So he's just got to – you've noticed when he's on the run, he forgets everything, and then he starts throwing – his passes are so accurate. You know, it's like he's not thinking at that point, which is what he needs to do. He just needs to simplify things. Thank you, Armand.
But that's usually the case. But even on the run on Sunday, he wasn't good, man. He was throwing things where you're just like he was just off stride. It's like his mechanics, his fundamentals, like it's all out of whack, man.
Yeah, he's just trying to do too much too fast.
Yep.
He's just forgetting about his basics, and he's just doing too much too fast. And he doesn't have to. And I don't know why he keeps reverting back to that. Like in the Philly game, he saw some glimmers of some hope that he was getting better, but I guess he's just trying to carry everything on his shoulder, and he shouldn't be. It shouldn't be on him.
So what are realistic expectations for the next 4 games? Like I don't think a lot's going to change. I think we're going to see probably much of the same we've been saying.
Oh yeah,
especially when you face the defenses they're going to be facing.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see the same
Bills and Buccaneers. Good luck.
Yeah, you're going to see the same. You're going to see the same thing. So you got to just hope that you see some sort of progression, some even minuscule, some sort of progression. But some teams might take them for granted, but it's just the defense is not playing.
So what is your philosophy on that? Because one of the biggest arguments I've seen over the last 3 days is it scheme? Is it players? Is it coaching? where do you put the blame on the defense? Because it's not young players, man. Like I understand
No.
the young players are at safety in the corners, but the problem is the front. It's the defensive front. It's not the back end.
In the beginning of the season, they showed some promise. They were stopping, and then it just fell apart. So I'm gonna put the majority of the blame on the players at this point.
Yep.
The coaches are not going anywhere. So forget about firing anyone. You're not gonna, because Albrecht is doing what Sal is telling him. This is my scheme. This is what we're gonna play, and he's following it, and he's using whatever he has. This, to me, this goes back to, bring it up with what Rex said on in the phone call he had, that he's going to fix this thing, but it ain't going to be this year. It's going to be next year. So I think they're just looking at what players are going to fit their scheme this year, and you're going to see guys jettison out, and they're going to bring the guys that they need, that they want. Like you said, they're auditioning guys. What do we have? Who we're keeping and who we're getting rid of. I agree with prime time.
Problem is, it doesn't look like they really have a lot, and you're bringing in all new guys.
You had nothing to begin with.
What's the learning?
So-
what's the learning? I mean, kind of back to Tyson's point from before.
Yeah.
What's the learning curve then for next year? You know, like we were talking about Wilson kind of being like a redshirt year this year, rookie year next year. Well, defense is going to be the same thing if you're bringing in all new guys.
Yeah. Well, you would have had it would have been a red shirt year if he was sitting also, in essence, because if he's learning sitting on the bench and he starts next year, he's starting his rookie year as well. But we see who he keeps. I don't think Rankin's going to be back. I can see, and I'm just speculating, I can see him trading Quinnen for picks.
You think so?
I could see it. I
Wouldn't
I
shock
don't
me.
think they may-
Wouldn't shock me.
Wouldn't shock me, because I think if a team wants him, he's going to listen, and if he knows he's going to get a good value, more than what he's good value for him, he may use that, and he's got a lot of picks.
That would be bold. That'd be a bold move. If they did that.
There's a lot of bold moves.
Wasn't his guy either. Wasn't his guy.
It wasn't his guy. He's not like he's. We expected more from him this year.
Yeah, he's not
From
Aaron
the way
Donald
he-
right now.
No.
But isn't he? Let's see. I'm trying to think of what. That'd be bold. That would be bold. If they did that, because you figure if you can move John Franklin Myers inside, and you have with Kyle Phillips, you have all those young guys too there.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
you
the
could
thing I was
you
going
could
to
bring
bring up.
Fatty Kasi back for cheaper too.
Yep.
Franklin Myers should be on the inside, and I think he's better off there. I think if they could get a good edge rusher to match with Lawson, and you like you say Fatakasi in there, it could be more solid. Maybe that's the scheme he's looking for. As far as free agency, listen, don't get your hopes up high. I'm being, I know it's a downer thing.
Do not bring me down in December. I'm telling you, it's the holidays. New Year's is coming. Do not be the voice of negativity right now.
I'm not being the voice. I'm just being realistic.
Nope. I don't want to hear realistic shit. I want to hear positivity and encourage me, because I can't get through this any other way.
You're gonna just have to go for the younger kid.
Nope.
And no, just not. But in a free agency, you're not gonna get the high price veteran, because they're just not. Things have changed. The guy that basically has won the championship, if he comes to you, who's going to cost you big money, and quite frankly, I don't think he's going to give you the effort he gave when he was, in the championship. I would prefer to have some guys like Brandon Marshall type that was later in his years but still productive for a year or two, just to basically be a good character but still have some production for a year or two while you're still building, so you have something solid there. Or like in Decker was also later in his years, not that far
later.
out.
He got old early. He was still young.
I don't disagree with that, but the problem is if you don't draft well, then what do you have at the end of those 1 or 2 years where you're just filling in band-aids?
But that's the thing. You got to be
back on the
drafting
hamster
in
wheel.
You have to be drafting well. We didn't do that. We were just bringing in guys just for the moment, and meanwhile you don't have any depth. You had no depth whatsoever for anything. Just like we have now, we have rookies as starters. So if we have rookies as starters, what is the depth? It's more rookies in the background. So it's just we're actually building a team as if we just started a new league and this is the team.
Yeah, like a brand new franchise.
Brand new franchise, but without the draft where we could grab a player from every
remember those
team.
days with the Texans? Yeah, remember that shit.
Yeah, so
and not the new stadium either. We got a dump.
Yeah, as far as Douglas, I could we'll see. He spent on certain players, so I could see him doing that. Let's see who's out there first, because what happened last year is a lot of guys re-signed with their teams, and a lot of guys went to championship teams. But he also has his number, and he's going to stay with that number, just like PT said. He has that number. He's going to stick with that number. Yeah,
but isn't the cap going up significantly this year though? I thought
208.
Yeah.
208.
Yep.
It's 208, and I don't think that's much more than it was last year.
So
last
to recap this prime time, on December 14th, Afram has now told us that the Jets are going to trade Quinnen Williams, and they're going to penny pinch it free agency. That's what I heard.
It would, and I didn't say we're going to trade him.
That's what I heard.
It's a possibility. I said, don't be surprised.
It's leaving the door open. You get the right
Yeah.
compensation back, or if you can fill a need elsewhere, something that can help Zach Wilson. I mean, you got to consider it. I think
if you can trade Jamal Adams, you can trade. Quinnen Williams.
But there's a difference though. Quinnen Williams is not Jamal Adams. He's not a problem. He's universally liked by the fans, by the team, by everybody else. He's been.
That's it.
Different kind of player.
Don't go by. He's liked by the fans.
I'm saying, but it's not like Jamal Adams was. He went scorched earth where Jets were in a bad spot. Quinnen Williams hasn't been a problem. Half the fan base thinks he's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, let them think, but they're going to do what they want to do. That's
Quinnen Williams has not asked for a contract yet, which is probably going to happen this offseason.
That's true.
So that could be where he eventually starts to go scorched earth. Yes.
Yeah,
that's true too.
And by the way, they kept Bradway for a long time because before he was a GM, he was head of scouting.
Yep.
So and he went back to that position before.
Yeah, he worked from home, man.
Well, when you're a scout, what are you going to do? Well, you're just looking. You're looking at talent. You're
sure what he was looking
talent.
at. He was looking at the beach and everything else.
But he was there for a long period of time. But let's see what happens these next 4 games. See who steps up. Let's see who they play. Connor. I saw Connor Hughes today on his show.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very interesting thing on Mims. Evidently, because he sees it. Mims, in practice, it doesn't give full effort, which is very interesting. So he was saying, even drills, just simple drills like the ladder drill, the pylon drill, guys, they do that very fast. He's lackadaisical through it.
He's probably demoralized like all hell at this point. He's probably
this is your chance.
Even in training camp, though, like we were saying right from the get-go, it was very odd the way that they were handling his reps. I know they tried to say the whole food poisoning thing early on, but even after he was healthy and he was back on the field, he was still working with the third team almost exclusively, including running like special teams drills half the time. So that's not something you'd expect from a guy that you expect to contribute as a receiver.
When he was sick, I think he had food poisoning. He lost like 20 pounds. So maybe that was one reason. But he also said that on this last game on the walkthrough, he forgot where to position himself on certain plays.
He did during the game too, right? Wasn't it illegal formation?
They got a penalty for that.
One of his penalties, yeah. So,
and they're forced to play him because they don't have anybody right now.
This team,
and well, they're hurt, But I know it's
never easy, man.
It's who we. No, it's never going to be easy until But we have
to be. But here's another thing though. Like if that's legitimately the case, why can't they just say it? Why can't Saleh say that the effort is off? Something is not there. They've been telling.
He said he'll never criticize his players in public. That's what he says.
Exactly. You're asking for so. You said it last night. Tyson said it last night. They're told to keep it a positive because as soon as they want to sell seats, you got your little ad or your email.
Yep.
You can't sell negativity.
You know what sells tickets though? Winning.
Yeah, but they want to give the perception. They want to give the perception that everything is fine. We're going in the right direction. Everything's fine. You may not see it now. It's going to happen. That's all they're going to always say.
You can sell the perception all you want. I'm watching a team that looks like shit. You win games. You win games. You're going to sell tickets.
Tell them that.
I just think that sends a terrible message to the locker room. Like,
But you
you're
got
not
a lot
holding
of those
anybody accountable. It's legitimately a problem in practice where he's not giving effort. Call that shit out. Put guys on notice. What's wrong with doing that?
But you got a lot of seats that are those PSL guys that can't sell the seats because of the PSL, so they have to hold on to them. So they're not losing those guys.
Yep.
Okay. And they're making their money off of them. So, you got to look at it at that end of the business. Yes, as a fan, it's you expect more. But when did the Johnsons ever really been concerned about the fan more than if he was concerned about the team and the fan, he would have built his own stadium instead of being cheap and splitting it with the Marriott. And then double downing on the PSLs, both of them.
Yep.
They made a fortune on that one.
Mm-hmm.
A good owner would have built the stadium. I don't care if it was right next to it. It would have been their own. Okay.
I remember before they even started the plans for MetLife, I was at Hofstra. They were selling the shirts, build it and shit. Me and my dad fucking bought them. Yeah, we were excited. Upper West Side we were talking about.
I didn't care for the Upper West Side. I thought it was stupid.
I wanted to go back to Queens. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, Queens. But Dolan fucked them on that one.
He sure did.
He bought that rail station or whatever, the depot station, and he basically
Hudson Yards, or hell was called.
Yeah, he because he didn't want it was right next to, it was going to be right next to the garden, so he ruined that. But there was other places he could have done it.
So basically, Afram, who's usually the positive voice of just happiness and keeping us all inspired, really brought us down with doom and gloom tonight. That's how I'm summarizing this.
What kind of inspiration can I give you? You see what you see.
But that's your job, man. Your job is to find, your job is to give us the light to keep us going. Your job is to bring us down even more.
Listen, I believe in what's going on. I trust Douglas at some point.
He trusts the process too.
Right. No, I like what he's doing. But the 2020 draft, regardless if he's doing it for Gase, at least we know that he's consulting with his head coach on what he wants. But the bottom line, he calls in the pick. He makes the pick, so it falls on him regardless. It doesn't make a difference if Gase wanted him or not. He made the pick. That was his job, so that's going to fall on him. But he's made some good picks this year. Becton, let's see him on the field first before we move him to another position. That's another thing.
Well, it's gonna be next year, I think, man. But we got a ton of people on hold there, man. So thank you for calling in. Thank you for bringing down the stream. Now we're all depressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good stuff, man. Have a good night.
Bye.
Man, the Jets suck when Afram brings us down. Holy shit, man.
I like negative Afram.
So now we have to bring on a caller that is on the supporter of a team that actually beat us on Sunday. Probably the only Saint fan that I know.
Do we have to?
Yep. Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you're being completely honest, did you expect the Jets to win on Sunday or lose on Sunday?
Oh, I thought the Jets would win. I said the week before that I figured they would win only because the only real weapon on our team is Kamara. And he was I figured if Kamara didn't play, I figured we would lose easily, we'd get killed, because essentially what happens in every Saints game when they get blown out is the defense keeps us in it for the first, second quarter, and then the offense is just so terrible that eventually the defense, they're going 3 and out, or they're getting 1 first down, and so it gets to a point where the defense is on the field constantly, and then they start giving up big plays, and it's just easy blowout win, and then we kind of make it look a little better in garbage time, or against the Cowboys, Taysom just fell apart in garbage time. So I was surprised we lost. I mean, we didn't lose, but I guess the only reason that I would say we won because we weren't very good was because the Jets couldn't stop the run and Zach Wilson couldn't make a throw.
Yeah, so what so from an outsider watching the Jets, you watched because of all our shit, but
no,
just watching Zach Wilson play, what would you think?
I thought overall, I wasn't really impressed because this was the second time I think I've watched a full game of his live, snap for snap. Yeah. And I thought that the first time I'd ever seen a full live game was the Falcons game, and I thought it looked like he always was kind of telegraphing where he was going to try and put the ball, and it was one of those things where it seemed like he was really slow through his progressions. And so I figured, especially against the Eagles, because it seemed like he was more improving when it came to more simple throws, and LaFleur seems like a pretty creative play caller overall, who at least lately has been getting the best out of his quarterbacks. And so I was kind of surprised at how he couldn't seem to make simple passes and he was kind of overthrowing everyone. And like, until the end of the game, did he even have over 100 yards?
Nope.
Like,
No.
yeah,
It
no,
was like
like
92
he was
yards, I
bad.
think. It was
He was
terrible.
10 of 26 for 92 yards going into
Yeah.
middle of the fourth quarter, I think.
And like the Saints, we do have a good defense, but we were missing Cam Jordan, who's one of our best players, because he got thrown on the COVID list. And like our defense is still very in terms of making big plays, like they definitely have the ability to just get like totally lapse in concentration and give up like long throws or just completely blow coverages like against the Giants. And so yeah, I was surprised that they really couldn't do anything. And I know people are gonna make the excuse like, oh, Moore was out and like I guess Corey Davis was out, but like your receivers are still way better than anyone we have. Like Crowder would easily be the best receiver on our team. Like we've got like a bunch of scrubs basically, and like we were missing decent players on the COVID list. Like Mark Ingram's probably one of our better offensive players.
Even
like,
Ty Montgomery was out.
Yeah, like he's not really any good, but at least, like he plays meaningful snaps on our team as a wide receiver. So that says kind of all you need to know about the Saints receiving situation.
I mean, I was shocked, man, because I was like, like the Saints were like, I'm not a Taysom Hill fan. We know what he was, especially with no receivers. And then you have all it is Kamara, and the Jets couldn't stop him. It was just like it was
like
so embarrassing, man.
Yeah, and it was like Kamara was coming off an injury, and I think like I don't want to say like he was a little bit more reserved than usual, but like it wasn't like we needed to really do anything to beat the Jets. And like Taysom, everyone's just talking about like, oh, he's banged up too, like oh, his finger, and like I was like, oh, are we really gonna talk about this all game? Like really? And so yeah, it was just like okay, all we need to do is run, and we easily won. And like I think after a while, I think the Jets defense started like they didn't start the game well, but then like that last big run for Taysom really padded his stats because he wasn't good in the game and like he's crap in general. Yeah, like he's crap. Like usually like in general, he's more of like a special teams player, I would say, or like a utility guy. He's not an accurate thrower. This whole finger injury isn't like helping, and then he has no receivers. So like all you need to do is contain him. I figured what the Jets would do would be to just stack the line. Like that seemed like the most common sense thing to do, and they didn't. So I was surprised by that. But
I was shocked.
It seems like the coaching, and I said this at the beginning of the year. Like I got into like a debate about this, but it was I felt like they were being very arrogant in the way they approached this entire season, where they figured like we know everything, and it's like you haven't really proven anything. Like with the whole backup quarterback thing, not getting any corners, and kind of just like I don't want to say like trusting a bunch of rookie coaches, but it seems like whenever they get questioned, everyone's very quick to jump on the defensive and say trust the process, and like but like you don't have a winning process. It's a bunch of guys who haven't done anything.
And then the one thing that bothers me the most, and you're dead right in terms of being arrogant, is especially on defense. Like the offense is one thing because you have the rookie quarterback, that's your decision maker and everything else, but the defense is Saleh's thing. And then you have Ulbrich, who's the defensive coordinator. This isn't his first job. It's the second year doing this. And when you question like their really bad run defense, and they're like, well, it's a scheme. It's a scheme. You don't see it. Then it's execution. But like it's historically one of the worst run defenses prime time we've probably seen in what, a decade? We haven't seen a run defense this bad in a long time. And they're arrogant about it when they ask questions. Like they don't like it's his answers are maddening at this point.
And it's even worse. Like you were just saying. I mean, a lot of the teams that we're going up against that are just running us over in the run game, they don't have many weapons that we have to worry about.
Remember the Falcon game with Patterson?
Remember the Colt game? We just had Pittman to worry about. I mean, that was their biggest threat. We knew we had to take care of Jonathan Taylor, and he still ran for what, like 150 yards, more than that.
Yeah, but Taylor's been running on kind of like everyone, but it's still one of those things. But where I think it's just like it's one of those things where like I don't know. I think they just don't want to admit mistakes, and they don't want to admit they were wrong, even though they were wrong about a bunch of stuff going into the year. And like the defensive line is one of those things that should technically be good. So I don't know why everyone's making excuses for them. Like the secondary, okay. Like I figured it was something where like the only reason I thought the Saints might have a decent chance in the game was because I was like, okay, the secondary technically on paper should be the weakest part of the team, considering it's all a bunch of like the safeties are a bunch of guys off the street. Aside from Mosley, I would say like linebacker, like you're not that strong there. And so I figured it was something where I was like, okay, even though our receivers kind of suck, the Jets secondary isn't any good either. Aside from like, okay, Bryce Hall's okay, but like maybe some of our scrubby receivers, like tight ends, maybe our tight ends aren't like the worst ever, but it's like it's a bunch of practice squad guys. So I was like, maybe we can stay competitive and if we can get even some runs, but it was just like Yeah, I was surprised how bad they were.
It's too easy. It's just too easy.
Yeah.
It's like every time you run the ball, it's 4 yards up the middle, 4 yards, 4 yards, 3rd and 7, you're gonna get 9. Like everything just it doesn't make any sense to me. And like we talked
much
about it on
space.
Sunday. Like I'm like, dude, and no disrespect to the Saints, but I'm like, I run blitz in every fucking play. I would have run blitz
No, that's
over
what
and
they should
over
do.
and said, let Taysom Hill beat me. If he beats me, and I like the Jets corners. I like Brandon Eccles, but Bryce Hall serviceable because the Saints receivers aren't that great. So I think it's kind of
No.
like it'd be interesting matchups. But they were doing nothing. They were getting no pressure, no nothing. Then they're getting mauled, and it's just like I think Mosley had like 17 tackles. You probably could have had 20, but you probably got tired. And it's just awful. And and Saleh can't explain it. It's always like, oh, you don't see what we see in practice. It's execution. It is the one that drives me crazy is the young players are playing. Your defensive line is not young, man. Your linebackers aren't young. These are experienced players. Stop lying to us and just own it. And I think you're dead right where you're saying, you know what? They never want to say that something's wrong. Prime time, you said it, I said it. It's always like, well, you think it's bad, but it's really not. Dude, you're getting blown out on a weekly basis. That's bad. Your run defense is the worst of football. That's bad. Like, stop telling us it's good. And they want to give off this aura that, it's like you speak into the air, it's going to happen, but it's not happening. It's strange.
Well, no, that's what I even found funny. Like, I thought the perfect example of it was like, for instance, like the Flacco trade where like they didn't get a veteran backup all like off season, even though everyone was saying to do it. And then they signed Flacco in like a panic move, and they're saying, well, the only reason we didn't get a veteran backup was because the only one we wanted was Joe Flacco. It's like he was the only one you wanted. Why? There was a bunch of capable backups out there who actually want to mentor quarterbacks. Unlike Flacco, plus I don't think Flacco is vaccinated. So as a backup, you probably want someone who's available.
Yep.
And so I don't understand why, like, it just
But
seems
even
like
that
they
blew
try
up in their
and,
face,
like,
though, because
yeah.
their comment best chance to win blew up in his face last week in the prime time. They asked him in the press conference.
Yep.
They said, if Flacco gives you the best chance to win, that's why you brought him here, because it's so important to you.
They asked Saleh that yesterday, and his response was, Wilson was our 2nd overall pick. He's our future. So that completely contradicts what he was saying a few weeks ago about best chance to win. And I agree with that. He is our future. You got to invest in him this year.
Yep.
You're 3-9 right now, whatever it is. So I get it, but at the same time, like the words don't match the actions. That's the problem.
Nope. They talk in circles.
Yeah, and I think it's a tough situation because you can't really bench Wilson because obviously he didn't really go to a good school where like he was playing top competition, but it's just like in that Saints game, I was like, what is this guy doing? Like, it was just like it was very like if you don't have, and it's like obviously it's like an offensive league. That's why the Saints have been getting blown out, because even though we have a good defense, if you can't do anything on offense, like you're obviously not going to be a good team. And
Well, but see, the thing is, he got lucky. Zach Wilson got lucky on Sunday that he's only playing the Saints. If they would have played anybody with a competent offense and a very good quarterback, they would have got blown out by halftime. That's the difference. Like he benefited from playing like a Saints team. But when you play a Dolphins who are playing pretty good, or you play the Buccaneers or the Bills who are, whatever, that's when you get blown out, because you struggle like that and you can't make any kind of, if you're selling for field goals, game's over halftime. He benefited from like being that low scoring game early on.
Yeah, I think he did, but it's like one of those things where also I find sometimes like when the Jets do turn up, it's like always something seems to go wrong. Like last week was the kicker. This week, Zach Wilson couldn't complete a pass. It's like, it seems like you can never put everything together. And it's like, I feel bad for you.
It's nice. Well, first of all, Cassandra, thank you for joining us and congratulations on the win. You guys beat us. So we could say. So thank you for joining us. Prime time. Any final thoughts?
No. I'm just glad she didn't talk about fantasy, so we're good.
Oh, yeah, you're the worst fantasy football player I've ever seen, and I think you should get kicked out of the league because the skill level between you and everyone else is like, it's too much of a gap.
All right, kick me out. Put me out of my misery. I'm good.
Sounds good.
Have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
I'm surprised she didn't bring on have a Saint sweatshirt or like a flag. I would have been taunting the shit out of us, to be honest with you. I would have been like,
yeah, right,
some kind of Saint gear. So we'll go here. We're gonna go to.
I need another drink real quick. I had to chug my one during that call.
What the hell? What kind of shit is this? He needs another drink. We don't promote that kind of stuff here. Let's see. So Tyson, you complain that Saleh always says things are good instead of being honest, but you want me to paint a positive picture. Because after him, you're supposed to be our light. You're supposed to be our instant. We hired you to be an inspirational coach for us, and you brought us down. So I'll wait till prime time comes back. So answer some questions real quick here. What's up, man? Well, glad you got home safely. Don't know where you were. Let's see what we got here. White was. I can't do the Mike White thing tonight. I can't go over that. Screw it. Let's bring on. What we got here. Where did Hype go? I was just gonna bring him on. Where the hell did he go? Ah, shit. We lost him. Oh, well. Hope he calls back in. All right, we're going to bring on Matt from Philly. What's up, man? Yeah, unmute
Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
How you doing, man?
Hanging in there. How could you be doing good as a fan of this team, guys? It's miserable as always. Tough.
Well, give us your assessment of the Jets, man.
Well, the real reason I really wanted to call in, because I loved your article, Primetime, on Twitter. You dropped after the loss. It really hit home for me because I was rudely hung up on the Jets post-game show that I call every week. This week,
you say?
So last week I couldn't call. I was too wasted from the Eagles tailgate. But the week before that, I called Greg Buttle and Dan Grassa, and me and Greg went at it, and he finally let me on for some quick back and forth, and I kind of silenced him about how he thinks play matter and it's overrated, and I silenced him. You know how these broadcasters are on the phone. They like to get the last word, and they let me have the last word finally. And I think I kind of made him look silly, and it felt good. So I wasn't expecting to be led on for a while on this call. But what I did against the Saints was Greg Buttle said, this really sucks for the fans, but it sucks even more for the players because they have to watch the game twice. They have to rewatch the film. They have to watch the game twice.
We've been watching this shit for 11 years.
And that's exactly what I said.
You pay for it sometimes to go see it.
That's exactly what I said. I said, feel bad for the players. They come in, they're in and out of this building after 2-3 years. Us fans have had to watch the same result, the same exact football being played for 16 games a season for the last 11 years. That's exactly what I said. And then they hung up on me right away. So then I go to my phone to see what they actually are saying. Oh, I've said it a million times, Matt. I know he's, hired by the Jets for, positivity. He's like to spin it. I've been saying it a million times, Matt, you got to take it game by game, season by season. And I'm just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I was punching air. And then I saw your article the next day and I was like, all right, it's not just me here. Like that pisses me off to no end.
And that was the purpose of my article. I've seen too much of that shit, whether it's on the radio, on Twitter, wherever, where people are just trying to preach how everyone else should be a fan. And like, if you as a fan have invested your time, your money, like to support this team, and they've given you nothing back for 11 years straight, we have not seen a playoff game in that building since it started. A lot of people doled out a lot of fucking money for those PSLs.
Yep.
I'm sitting on seats right now that I can't give away. If you go on StubHub and look at upper deck seats, they're worth what, for like $7, $8?
Yep.
Like I can't give these seats away. I paid more than $50 for them. Like you're calling up your season ticket holders every Friday. I could show you my call log. I get a call every single Friday before a home game from a season ticket rep asking if I want to buy more tickets at a discounted rate. Not take back the seats that are worth nothing. They're asking if I want to buy more. Like that's where we're at. And it's it's embarrassing. We're giving money. The players are making money. Who's suffering more? The players go home. They're fine. Like,
dude, after the game, they're fine. Dude, after the game, they're fine. They shake hands. They exchange jerseys. They go off. They go out to dinner with. A lot of times, they go out to dinner with their opponent. They do it like, dude, they lose. They're fine with it. They move on.
And even worse, they go home and they tweet out their highlights, right? Their individual performances, like they'll show their 1 or 2 highlights. They don't give a shit that the team sucks. They don't give a shit that the fans are throwing away their money at this. They don't give a fuck about that.
It's a business.
And again, like just going back to like the fan part, I don't understand why anyone feels the need or the urgency right now to actively preach patience and waste your breath with that. I get it that Douglas deserves time. I get it. Saleh deserves a chance. Wilson deserves time to figure this all out. As individuals, they all deserve that chance. The Johnsons and the organization don't deserve that benefit of the doubt from the fan base. Not at all.
Yeah, and I would have respected if he said, oh, I know Jet fans are frustrated. All the calls are coming in frustrated. Like, just like this show is. Everybody's coming in, airing out. It's like almost rehab for us here. But it's like therapy. But if he approached it and said, I understand why you're frustrated. The team hasn't really showed any progress. You got a new GM, you got a new coach, you got a new quarterback. Like, we're going to get there. If he went that route, I mean, like, okay.
But they're
he's
scared to
telling me
say
to
that,
stay
though.
patient. He doesn't say that. They don't say that.
But Matt, that is an organizational decision to communicate the same fucking thing to everybody. We're making progress. You just don't see it yet. We're making progress. You don't see us in practice. We're doing things you just can't see. They are all saying it. Douglas, Saleh, Greg Buttle, every little bozo paid by them or any person in the media saying that same kind of message is on the Jets payroll. They're getting told to say that because you can't, like, you'll watch a blowout loss and Saleh will say, you know what? It's not really as bad as you think. You got blown out. You have the worst defense in football.
It's a message that we've heard also way too many times before, and it didn't pan out. So all that speak that we heard, all the time that we invested, saying, all right, it's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. Well, it never did. So why should we believe this is going to be different? Like, I'm all about trusting the process. I just don't understand anybody telling anybody else to trust the process. Show me a little bit of results first. Show me some actual tangible progress that I can look at on the field and say, all right, those guys are getting better. Show me that first. And I'll start buying in a little bit more. I'll take my foot off the gas and I won't criticize as much. But until you show me that, why should I believe that you're actually turning this around? Why should I believe it?
And there's but the thing is, like, there's nothing you can hang your hat on right now. There's not one thing where you can say, you know what? And the thing is, it's Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, and Vera Tucker. And that's great. You drafted them and they're as advertised. But right now, you can't, we think the offense is creative, but we don't know what our quarterback is with 4 games left in the season. We have no idea what Zach Wilson is. So going into next year, he's a complete unknown. The defense, we have no idea what the defense is because it's awful. So now this year we had a lot of questions, not many answers. Guess what we have next year? Same thing, dude. The same exact thing. That's not called progress. There's no progress there.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, if you just imagine how bad the defense we didn't have CJ Mosley. It's like we expect him to make every single tackle. Yep. And I was listening to the show before with Quinn Williams, and he's having a great year statistically. It's something we didn't see from Leonard Williams back in the day, but he's actually showing up on the stat sheet occasionally. But I watched that game last night where when we drafted Quinn Williams, they were saying he could be Aaron Donald. This guy could have Aaron Donald-like impact. And I'm thinking to myself, I see Aaron Donald impact the play every single down he's out there. Every single down.
Yep.
Quinn Williams becomes invisible. I don't know if it's too many substitutions. I don't know what it is.
Not just for plays.
I really can't tell you.
He disappears for games at a time. Doesn't he have 2 games where he has 2 sacks and I think 1 with 1 sack? And other than that, does he have anything else?
He'll have the five and a half, but
he pretty much has them all in 3 or 4 games.
Yep.
So I don't know what you do with him. Like you said, Tyson, Zach Wilson. Back in the offseason, I was with Primetime with the Donald thing. I don't really want to touch that right now. But I don't know. He shows flashes, but last game it felt like he's taking like 9-step drops every time he drops back. Yep. He's never taking the 3-step drops and throwing it out or even stepping up really. It's like he's floating. So I get worried about that. It's just tough right now. You want to see progress and you still don't see it. You want these guys to be coached up. It doesn't seem like they're getting coached up. Nope. You even saw at the end of this game, there was like a minute left, and all the Saints wanted to do was just run to the left and slide. So there's no timeouts left. Let's end the game on 3rd and 12, and we give up a 50-yard touchdown. We part the Red Sea. Sean Payton told Taysom Hill to go slide to the left, and we give him a 50-yard touchdown. So that says effort to me. Yep. It sucks. It really fucking sucks.
Because the thing is, like, you this season, we're like, you know what? We wanted to kind of be like the Chargers were with Herbert. Like, you know what? They started out, but they were a high-flying team, exciting to watch, a lot of good things you can embrace. Like, dude, if they were losing 31-28 every week, I'm happy as shit, man. Because you're saying, we're seeing a glimpse of what we can potentially be. We have no idea what that is. We're not seeing exciting football. We're not seeing quality coaching consistently. We're not seeing a lot of things. And the thing is, the word's consistently. See, now get me on a roll now. Because what I hate about Saleh is when they do one thing right, they boast about it and brag about it and break out every I told you so. Like, we told you, okay, you played a good half of football, bro. But the other fucking 13 losses you're going to have, you're getting your ass beat. So don't give me the I told you so for 1 week and the next week backtrack and say everything's fine when you're getting blown out. It's a weird way of handling business, man. So I don't know.
Dude, I completely agree. And you think about the Herbert, and I honestly think about Herbert a lot. I get angry watching Herbert and Joe Burrow because I really don't see any resemblance to Wilson. I know it's early, but when we saw Burrow and Herbert as rookies, we were like, oh, that's why they were picked so early. Like, those guys are going to be good quarterbacks. They're gunslingers and they make shit happen. I really don't see it with Wilson right now. You knew Burrow and Herbert were going to be game time players. Even with, like, I think the Dolphins are probably feeling really shitty about picking Tua over Herbert. I mean, that sucks for them.
Even he's coming on, though, and doing some good things, though, now. Like, you're seeing glimpses out of him, too. I don't like Tua at all, but the guy that we all made fun of initially was Josh Allen. When he first came out, oh, Josh Allen sucks. He can't do this. He can't do that. He can't do this. He's gotten better every year. This year, Dable's done a terrible job, but Josh Allen's he is just a beast, man. He could run it. He could throw it. He's a leader. He's physical. Like, you see glimpses. You see, okay, we know what this kid's going to be in a year or two. Zach Wilson, we don't know, dude. We've seen in all the games he's played, I think he's probably, of all the games combined, he's probably played 60 minutes of good football. That's probably about it. All games combined.
I remember that podcast when you guys were doing the draft special, and Fireman Ed came on, and he was the only one that said Josh Allen was going to be the best quarterback from that class. And I thought he was nuts, because I was like, dude, this guy is inaccurate. He plays nobody in college. I get he's a big body, but I just did not foresee this. I think I came on and called in, and I said Josh Rosen. So I don't know. Look at me. I know nothing here.
We were still feeling the effects of the Hackenberg pick. Everyone was comparing Josh Allen to Hackenberg, the big quarterback who's just incredibly inaccurate. But he got to figure it out. He sucked his rookie year, and then he got to figure it out. So I mean, that can give you some hope for Wilson. But I agree with you. I'd like to see a little bit more, at least over these final 4 games, to give you some hope going into next year.
So Matt, thanks for joining us, man. You're a celebrity caller, man. You're on ESPN. We're just some bozos on YouTube, man. So thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
Nah, you guys are the real fans. I appreciate it.
Have a good night,
man.
Thank
you, man. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny. After the game, when we go to games on the way home, I listen to ESPN because I hate Craig Buttle. I hate that post game show. It pisses me off because they're such homers and they give such. But I always wait for Matt to call. I wait for his call. I find it so funny, dude. You could tell he's had a couple beers in him and he's all fired up. And they try to calm him down. It's friggin' outstanding. So we're gonna go to Hype. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
How you doing, man?
What's up, Hype?
I'm good. Good to see you guys. I haven't seen you since we were at the Carolina tailgate.
There you go. And we were nice and sober.
Yeah, we absolutely were. Right? Hey, but somebody, this was the first home game this year that I missed, the Saints game. I spend my money. I love the team. I want to go. I want to support, but this week I just couldn't do it. Yep. There's a couple of things that I just wanted to bring up. One, this 4-2-5 defense that they're running, it's just not working. I understand why they're going away from the 4-3, but this 4-2-5 just isn't working. If you got 5 people covering the backfield, then there's nobody stepping up in the middle to fill the gaps. So that's why we're getting ran all over. It's a simple fix. You just gotta get the players in there. Davis fucking sucks. He's horrible. I saw what they tried to do with him this week. They tried to put the 4-3 back in and told him to mirror the quarterback. With him mirroring the quarterback, he was letting Kamara just go right past him. Yep. It was horrible. They're making statements with the wrong players at the wrong times. One is way too many substitutions. This 50% defense. Oh, the defensive line's only playing 50% of the time, 55% of the time. It's 3rd down and 1, and your best defensive players are on the sidelines.
It's true.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You pointed that a couple times. Yep.
But and they're doing the same thing on offense. You need a first down. It's 3rd down. You need a first down. When Elijah Moore was in there, he's on the sideline. Crowder's on the sidelines. Your dependable hands are not there in the critical moments, and that's coaching. That's a coaching problem.
Excellent points, man. We noticed that when primetime we go to games, even the Bengal game or even the Panther game, we were at the Panther game, you would see certain like a big play. I'm like, why is Quentin Williams here? Or like, why is Elijah Moore on the sideline? It was like the one play, it was like Elijah Moore, Crowder, and Berrios were on this, or Davis. I was like,
and Davis all on the sideline.
It seems like they take them all out at the same time. Instead of just subbing one guy here and there, they take out like all three receivers, all three starting defensive linemen.
They're rotating in packages, and it doesn't make sense.
Nope, it doesn't.
It does not make sense. I can understand if Quinnen needs a breather for a snap, but why are you taking Quinnen and Rankins out to put in Phillips and Shepard?
Yep.
It doesn't make sense. These are coaching issues. We have some talent there, but the talent's not gonna expand out, and is not gonna show what it can do unless you put talent with talent. So you got to change these substitution packages so that these rookies can be side by side with a vet and say and have somebody coach them up while they're on the field. CJ Mosley has been doing a decent job. I've seen him disappear a couple of times, but he's trying hard.
Yep.
But he's never had to run a 4-2.
That's true.
You know, you're forcing your talent, your playmakers to do stuff that they're not used to doing. When you came into the team, the very first thing that they said was, we are going to take the strengths of the players and make that the strengths of the team. We're going to build a team around the strengths of the players.
Yep.
They have done nothing but lie to us.
So spot on.
Nothing but lie to us since this whole thing has begun. This whole thing with Mims made mistakes. I get it. But why is he the only player that's being held accountable out of 52 players on the team?
Yep.
Ty Johnson, you know what? He dropped 3 passes. You got Vincent Smith or whatever this other Smith guy is there. He's the new running back. Bring him in.
Yeah, put Berrios in the backfield. You had P.
Ryan in. Yeah. Yo, if you got a fast wide receiver and your running back is not catching the ball out the backfield, then put your fast wide receiver back there and let him catch the ball out the backfield and make a play. These are coaching decisions, and they're rookie coaching decisions that need to be fixed. I see a lot, and with Albrecht, he's making mistakes, but the mistakes that he's making, I believe it's Saleh pushing that agenda on him. And if I hear another one of these players talk about what his superpowers is, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Oh, my superpower is running from sideline to sideline. No. You're a fucking football player. You're not a superhero. Get out there, play fucking football, watch your man, tackle your man, and Ashton Davis, learn how to fucking tackle. That's all I got, guys.
Dude, this is call of the week easily. This is call of the week right
amazing.
here.
So you don't think there would be much of a difference if Saleh took over play calling? Like, you think this is Ulbrich doing what Saleh wants?
Yeah, Ulbrich is running Saleh's system, and he said it numerous times. This is the system that Robert has put in place. I'm teaching it. We're coaching it. The guys just have to do better.
Hype. Thanks for calling in, man. This is easily call of the week, man. Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you joining us.
I appreciate you.
Great stuff.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Prime time. We got to cut that one, man. That's the one right there. Got to cut that one. Call of the week. Slam dunk.
That was totally spot on, especially on Mims.
Yeah,
especially on Mims. When you came in saying that you were gonna make the most out of what players can do well, and we've got a big dude who's physical, who's got some speed, and we can't find anywhere to put him on the field. I mean, maybe it is an effort issue that we're not seeing in practice, but you know, as a coaching staff, you should be able to get a little bit more out of these guys. A second-year player that's just completely not interested in playing football, it's hard to believe that. I don't know.
Yeah, that hype that was easily call. That was a phenomenal call, man. You could just sense like the frustration and anger in him too. So we got Raj from London. Are you actually in London? You gotta hit your butt. Am I hitting it? Did I hit it? No, you're unmuted.
There you go. Sorry.
There you go.
Good. What's up, man?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
How you doing, man?
Are you in London right now?
Yeah, man.
What time is it?
Moved here like 10 years ago.
What time
It's
is it
like
there?
almost 3 a.m.
What the hell are you doing up right now?
I don't know, man. One of those days doing some work,
So wait, what made you a Jets fan then?
I mean, I grew up in New York, grew up in Long Island,
Okay.
and then moved out here. It's been a painful couple of decades.
So give us your take on Zach
mean,
Wilson
look,
and the
man,
Jets, man.
I'm not sure there's anything new to add. They suck, right? But I think two things on my mind are one is what's the value of playing Zach Wilson? I mean, I don't think he should have been playing from the beginning of the season. Like it's proven that good quarterbacks, don't start off their rookie season, right? Like what, I'm not sure the benefit that we're getting of him.
Well, I mean, in theory, I think that the benefit is you're learning a lot, you're getting a lot of experience, you're seeing things, you're growing along the way. The problem is he's not learning, he's not growing, and he seems overwhelmed. If they're ready, you can learn. It can be a big benefit prime time, right? If they're ready to play, but if they're not, you get what we're getting.
I think there are examples that could go both ways. But yeah, right now with Zach Wilson, I mean, he just had 4 weeks to kind of sit on the bench, to watch, to digest everything, and he's come back. And he had the one game, I think it was against the Eagles, where he looked okay at times. Other than that, I mean, it's been a lot of ups and downs, and he's missing a lot of easy throws.
I buy that if you have the right coaching staff, right? Like, obviously they don't to kind of coach him up, and I think the biggest thing lacking with this team is fire. Like, you could talk about talent and all of that stuff, but there's no fire anywhere, right? And that comes down to the coaches.
Well, I mean, the coach says he doesn't have to motivate his players. He said that's on the players to motivate themselves. But you see that the most on defense, because defense, it's all about tenacity, intensity. I mean, you watched the Rams last night. You watch other teams; they're getting after it, man. Like they're fighting for every yard, fighting like they're it gets physical, gets aggressive. You see a lot of just a different nature than you see from the Jets. Like it's just like you watch other games, like last night's game. You watch that, and then you watch Jets Saints, and you're like, holy shit. We're in a different league. Like we're not even on the same stratosphere as these teams right now.
Nope. I'll leave you with one final controversial take. Next season, they'll fire Ulbrich and bring Sexy Rexy back.
That's come on, man. That's not happening. They're not bringing the circus back to town.
No way.
Thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
All right, take it easy, fellas.
You too.
There's no way that would happen just because Rex would be a larger than life personality, and he would draw more attention than Saleh. And Saleh,
they wouldn't take that. They don't want that chaos here.
They wouldn't do that to him.
Yeah, they would definitely not do that. We're gonna go to Chris. What's up, man?
Hey, Tyson, prime time. What's going on, guys? How are you?
What's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Not too bad, Tyson. I think we actually have some overlap here. I also used to write for Jet Nation many years ago, so awesome. I think we're both connected to Phil over there. Awesome. So good to chat with you guys. I think the one thing that everyone needs to kind of remind themselves when they're watching this team is that when you go through the 53-man roster, you've got maybe 35, 40 guys who could be on other NFL teams right now. I mean, I don't want to make excuses for Saleh or Joe Douglas, but the damage that Mike Maccagnan did to this franchise cannot be overstated. Douglas has not been great, particularly in free agency. And I think he's going to have to start answering for some draft picks, specifically Mekhi Becton. I don't know what's going on there, but when I look at kind of a 4 to 6 week injury, we're at what now? Is it 12 weeks? Something like that. I think they said 4 to 8 weeks. We're at 12 weeks. It doesn't look like that guy's going to suit up this year.
Nope.
And from what I can tell, it doesn't seem like the coaching staff has gone out of their way to be, Saleh praises everyone, but they haven't been hyper defensive of them. And the fact of the matter is you can't go into next season without having a third tackle who can play on the left side. And they've got that in George Fant right now, but that's $12 million now that you've got locked up on the left-hand side to basically be a swing tackle. And, you can't have enough good offensive linemen, but there's a lot of resources now that are being dedicated to, a position where Joe Douglas is supposedly an expert. And, I complained about the same thing with Rex Ryan when he was here. He was a defensive line expert. Why do we have to go out and use first-round picks on defensive linemen every year? If this guy is such a guru on the defensive side, Joe Douglas, the same thing on the offensive side of the ball. So, I think it's just one thing to keep in mind is that the talent level is what we're seeing here. They just can't compete, and you're going to have games like the Saints. Go ahead.
I'm not saying the talent level is great, but I mean, like kind of what you were just saying, if Saleh's supposed to be the defensive mastermind, don't you think, at least from the front seven perspective, there's enough talent there where we shouldn't be getting run over for 180 rush yards every game?
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, when everyone can't say enough about C.J. Mosley and the defensive line. Well, if Quinnen Williams is so great, John Franklin Marshall is so great, or Myers, whoever. C.J. Mosley is such a great middle linebacker. I'm watching C.J. Mosley make tackles 12 yards down the field. And I'm going, and again, C.J. Mosley, when he lined up week 1, whatever it was, 3 years ago against Buffalo, I've never seen a better football game from a New York Jet in my life, and it was one half of football.
That first half seems so long ago. Yep.
I mean, it was an unbelievable first half, and you saw some glimpses of that from him early in the year. And since maybe week 3, week 4, I haven't seen C.J. Mosley except when he's being dragged into the end zone or 15 yards down the field.
I think he's just getting worn down too, man. He's making 15 tackles a game. He's trying to overcome, what's in front of him, what's behind him. He's flying around doing. He's probably hurt and worn down, and probably just like, dude, he's just getting lost in the system now. But the question I have is, and you're touching on this, is like people like to talk about not enough talent, not enough like this. Look at the salaries that are being paid to that defensive front. Look at the amount of money being spent there. And people are saying we should be paying them more. Give Quinnen Williams a new contract. We got to keep Fadakasi. He can't go nowhere. John Franklin Myers making huge money. Sheldon Rankins, not exactly cheap. They got a lot of money spent up there, man. And it's like, okay, like that's money. That's resources. That's something you allocated. They should be getting more out of them, dude. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, and I mean, I know the secondary is terrible, and they're not giving the defensive line much time to get some penetration. But the least you can do is stop the run. I mean, if you guys are these super talents, I mean, anyone can stop the run. It doesn't take a whole lot of talent.
If we're being honest, though, look how many times the secondary benefited by the other team having guys out. The Falcons had all their guys out. The Titans had all their guys out. Yeah. Every time we faced the opposing team, a lot of times their receivers were hurt. So the young secondary's been competing. I like Bryce Hall. Eccles does his job. Guidry's had his moments. Even Michael Carter had his moments. The young secondary, I'm fine with them fucking up, dude. I'm cool with that because, they're learning on the job. It's everything in front of them that's going wrong. Even when Marcus May was back there, he was okay, but he wasn't sticking out. Like, you know what? Marcus May's a superstar. Let's give him $15 million a year.
I mean, Marcus May was on the field for 4 quarters when they gave up 50. So, I'm not clamoring for Marcus May to be back there. But it's going to be a long road back. I mean, the one thing I'll just leave on is the biggest point of concern for me is watching Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Nothing that we've seen from college and I watched every single one of his throws in college 3 times, and I never saw him miss these lateral passes 5 yards, the rollout to 5 yards to Ryan Griffin. I haven't seen those. And the only thing I can compare it to is Chuck Knobloch when he's playing second base for the Yankees. I mean,
I can relate to that too.
It's like, it's cause for concern. And I think that, best thing he can do is take a nice long off season and try to come back. But man, the earlier, and the one thing I would just say is everything with Zach Wilson was a projection coming out. No one knew what you had. All you knew was you had someone who threw it reminded me kind of like one of those trick quarterbacks who would, throw a ball 70 yards through a basketball hoop. He could do some amazing things with the football, but as we know, it doesn't translate to the field all the time. So it's still a work in progress projection. You have no choice but to roll with them. But I got to tell you, you got to think about using a draft pick on a quarterback at least on day 2 next year, because I don't know if he's the answer, and I certainly don't think Mike White is. Anyway, guys, thanks.
Great call, man. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thank you, brothers. Be good.
You too.
See, I'd much rather. Callers are on fire. I'd much rather just sign a veteran than drafting another quarterback who's probably not going to be ready to play next year. I feel like, if you're worried about Wilson, you need to at least have somebody that you feel confident can go in there and execute your offense, not somebody that you're also going to be teaching along with him.
Yeah, these callers have been phenomenal tonight. Holy shit, man. We'll go to our friend Sneakers the Boots. What's up, man?
What's going on, fellas? How are you tonight?
What's up, man?
You got a
How you
tough
doing?
lineup to follow here, man. You better bring your A game right now.
Somebody's gonna fuck this up in the last few calls.
I know exactly who it is. He's on hold. Don't worry. He'll fuck it up.
But just another week of us chasing our own tail yet again. That Sunday was absolutely pointless. Why did we even get off the field, show up on the field? No point.
And the worst part is it was so obvious. Let me say hi to Johnny before he says it 5 more times. What's up, Johnny? So the worst part is you look at you try to do like a fan base preview. Like, all right, I'm gonna drink beer and look at the Jets Saints matchup. How can the Jets find a way to win this game? Pretty easy. Stop Alvin Kamara, and that's it. It's it, man. There's nothing else to do.
So stack the box and force them to throw.
Mark Ingram's out. Ty Montgomery's out. They're down to their star running back comes back, and they're down to their 4th string running back. Their best receiver's out, and their quarterback sucks.
They had one adjustment to make, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't bring the heat. You couldn't do it.
Nothing.
I don't understand. And his post game press conferences are just laughable at this point. We're not even watching the same game. I mean, I get you're doing this whole song and dance, like be a corporate guy and say everything positive, but like you have to acknowledge the elephant is in the room. It's staring you straight in the face, like at this point. So your press conference comes off as super transparent. Everyone can see right through it.
Now, do you think that's him or somebody that's telling him to say that? Or do you think behind closed doors he's actually doing it and just not showing it to the media? Like, what do you think it is?
I think it's a mixture of both. Like it's not just him, obviously, right? Like they got plenty of people on the payroll, right? Like Greg Buttle, post-game press conference, like maybe some people on the post-game through SNY, I think,
Guaranteed.
as well. Like,
Yep.
Yeah,
That's why some of the former hosts aren't there anymore. But let's not talk about that.
But like from our press conferences, like you can see why we're getting disrespected. Like nobody's even being called out in the press conference. Like I get he doesn't want to single out players and stuff like that, but you just all you have to say is we have to be better. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep going down the same road. And words means things, and the way he says it's gonna flip, I don't like that. It's not just gonna flip. You got to make it flip. You got to have the players and make it flip. It's just not going to flip on its own. So,
no, I completely agree. Like it is not going to flip until you actually do something to change it. And right now, like the message that's being sent is what bothers me. And I want to believe that behind closed doors, he's sending a different message to the players, and he just doesn't want to embarrass them through the media. But we talk about Parcells all the time. He wasn't scared to go to the media and throw somebody under the bus because he knew he would send the message to that guy, and they would show up the next day. Like you put guys on notice, you get more out of them. And I think right now for a team and for a culture that has been so bad for a decade plus, allowing the same shit to just kind of perpetuate, I think that's wrong right now. Raise the bar a little bit, and then you could always go back, next year, the year after, you could become the players' friends eventually. But right now, year one, you got to raise that shit a little more, I think.
Yeah, he has to be a teacher. He can't be their friend. Like you can eventually grow into great relationships with them, with your teachers, especially as you grow older, like even out of high school and stuff like that, like or something like that. But when you're first teaching them the fundamentals, like you have to be strict. You can't just say like, oh, it's okay because I'm friends with you, or giving people special treatment or anything like that. So I think the fish rots from the head down, right? So like when Leon Hess came to his ends wits and was just like, I'm over this, like I need to win, he hired Bill Parcells. The thing is that we know that the Johnsons won't do that. They are not even that, like, not to say that Sal may not be the guy, but we need the Johnsons to kind of take on that mantra, like, and just tell Sal, just like, say how it is, stop this pretty song and dance. But they will never do it. The only way that happens is if we sell the team to like Gary Vee or something who would be straight up honest, or at least you think he would be. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were saying the entire offseason, like when we were doing the head coaching search, like who the Jets needed, like the Bill Cowher type, the legitimate CEO, the proven guy who's done it before, who's automatically going to come in and command respect. And, I want to believe that Saleh can kind of learn on the job and get it figured out in year 2 and year 3. But right now, I mean, the early results aren't really that good.
No, and it's starting to look like that Mims is the Adam Gase pick, like straight up at this point with it.
Yeah, but the Mims the guy that everybody wanted, though.
Oh no, I completely agree. And what's funny though is Matt Rule actually even passed up on him, and he was his coach.
And how's that Matt Rule experience working out in Carolina right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of can put them both in the same bucket. But when you see him kind of do those ladder drills, and you hear about him not moving quick feet or just giving that hustle, like you can see that translating to the field where he's lining up in the wrong spots, and like to Afram was saying with Connor Hughes, and he was saying, and him doing that in practice runs, that's not good. And
but here's my question though, and the one thing I wonder about is we heard all about all the veteran leadership you have on the team, and no, I'm not kidding around because Primetime made a point a couple weeks ago, and I forgot all about this. And you have Denzel Mims doing all this horse shit in practice, right? But you also have Jamison Crowder, you have Corey Davis, you have Keelan Cole, you have guys that are valued veterans on this team that should pull them aside and be like, yo, bro, that's not acceptable. You can't do this. Because when back in we were real lucky to interview a lot of players from the 98 Jet team. We talked to, Aaron Glenn, Victor Green, Marcus Coleman, all these guys. And they all talked about it, said, listen, they held each other accountable. Like if they did something wrong, the team, they're like, listen, bro, you do it again. Like our standards are high here. Like the locker room kind of police themselves. Where is that not happening with the Jets? Is Corey Davis actually saying, hey, man, you know what? I'm the captain here. You can do this over. We expect better from you. I understand the coaches have a role, and I completely respect that. But also the leadership and the mindset in the locker room, the mindset in your position room is going to be different too. You had Keyshawn and Corbett battling it out all the time. All these different guys always competing. Is that happening here? Everybody's like, you know what? Not my job, not my problem. I collect my paycheck. Worry about your own paycheck. What's the mindset here?
That's been the question every year, right? Because we always end up signing a bunch of people for agency, expecting them to be our leaders, but they come here to just sit there and collect a paycheck. And that's where their careers go.
Hasn't that been the problem in the past year, Primetime? Isn't that been the problem?
Just as far as what we have access to, what we could see, the only guy who comes off as somebody that's holding anybody else accountable on this team is CJ Mosley. That's the only guy I look at that I can feel confident in saying that if somebody else is slacking during practice, not doing their shit, not keeping up in film room, whatever it is, he's going to call somebody out. Other than him, I don't know who else is stepping up saying shit. And you're totally right. Like the 98 team, almost every single position group, you can point to multiple guys that were veteran leaders, that were established, that were going to put their young guys in check. Even on the offensive line, like Mawai, Jumbo Elliott, fucking Jason Fabini, Mo Lewis with the linebackers, Marvin Jones. They had so many guys in multiple positions that could do that shit. And right now, I get it. It's a rebuild. You're trying to establish all that.
But the thing is, we heard about every guy the Jets drafted was a high character guy, a captain of their team, all these great high character guys. That's great. But sometimes you need that pain in the ass, a thorn in your side. Be like, listen, bro, like you're not doing your job, man. Do it again. Like somebody's got to be the asshole. But you can be an asshole by being a respected player in the locker room that says, listen, man, we demand more here. We expect more here. Like even with Rex Ryan, like he brought in some of his guys, the Jim Leonards, the Bart Scotts, whatever. Like right Primetime, like you have that guy. It's like
you'll hate them now, but you'll thank them later because they're going to keep you in check and they're ultimately going to get you fucking paid because they're going to show you how to do shit the right way.
And that's how you make your money. That's exactly right, dude.
Not Salah saying, "Oh, I'm going to get you guys paid." No, you need actual guys that have done it before that can show them how to fucking do it.
That's it.
Absolutely, and that's going to start with Douglas in this offseason, right? Like his seat is getting warmer by the minute.
Well,
each day that goes by.
It's getting warmer, but the thing is too is he's got to really look at. He has his Joe Douglas type of player or your Jet type of player. What is that? Because this is, in theory, this is his year to figure that out. Last year, the Gase thing, whatever. This is your locker room. This is the locker room you're molding now, and I think there's a leadership issue. There's definitely some effort issues and everything else. How are you going to address that? Because you're not going to, it's not a 5-year plan of fixing it. You've got to see a complete change next year where like these guys are rallying around each other. If your quarterback gets smacked on his ass and kicked on the ground, somebody actually sticks up for him. If there's late hits, you have some kind of reaction. You got a bunch of zombies. That's all translational. You see it. Like the best part of Sundays is not watching the Jets. It's watching every other team and seeing how they handle their business, especially the good ones. When you watch games like last night, you watch even like the Bengals game. You see different things like, our team doesn't do that. They don't do this. It's like we're in a different plateau of a team right now. We're such a low level. We don't do what good teams do at all.
Nope. And if people want to actually get a glimpse inside what an organization that knows what the hell they're doing, watch Men in the Arena, because the way that Bill Belichick was basically just like a cut anyone kind of guy when they cut Loyola Molloy and went to the Bills, like just out of random. He was their captain. He's just like, I don't care. And then they signed Ronnie Harrison, and then that's where they went after that. And I don't think Molloy even got a Super Bowl. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
no, it's a different mindset, man. It's a different level of expectations, a different mindset, different leadership. It's all about respect and everything else. And right now, it's just not there right now.
I mean, I do think Zach will hopefully get, once he gets this long off season. The only bearing excuse I'm going to use is just it's a long season for a rookie, right? It's like they go straight out of college and then they go into like combines and all that stuff, and then it goes now from a 16-game season to a 17-game season. So it's a lot. But I mean, we got to remember also like Steve Young from BYU, right? Everyone's like, oh, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, this and that, but like he was also on the Bucks too, and he was like 3-16 as a starter and like went 11 for 21.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, listen, I don't care about comparisons to other quarterbacks. I honestly don't give a shit. My thing is this: right now, Zach Wilson's at rock bottom, and the entire locker room is watching how he handles his business. How are you going to get out of your funk? Are you the first guy in, last guy out? What are you doing to make yourself better? How are you improving? Because everybody's watching, and that's how you emerge as a leader. Look at Josh Allen, like all these guys, like dude, all these quarterbacks have struggled at some point. Everybody struggles. But he is in the media market with a fan base that's furious. We're lacking patience, everything else. He has got to be resilient, and with everything he does is being watched by the coaches and his teammates. Either he rises to the occasion, becomes a leader and a good player, or he's not going to be here in 3 years.
And Boomer was even saying it this morning. While the locker room probably understands why he's playing as far as the long-term vision, do they agree with the decision for him to be out there when it's affecting their numbers and affecting their ability to get paid this offseason? For guys like Crowder, who's going to be a free agent, Keelan Cole, how do they look at Zach Wilson right now? I don't know.
They're pissed.
Exactly. It's not college where you're not getting paid. I mean, I don't think they've changed with the NCAA, but
or even a veteran who's near the end of his career who wants to fucking win before he retires. How does that guy look at Zach Wilson in the way the Jets are handling this?
You're messing with people who get their money to feed their families and support them. So like they don't give a shit if it's a rookie quarterback or not. They want to make sure that they're getting the best person at that position to play to make them look the best that they can, right? So, but I'll let you guys go if you guys got any rest of the callers. But thanks for letting me on.
Great call, man.
Have a good night,
dude. These callers have been excellent tonight. Holy shit, man! This is impressive stuff here.
Somebody's gonna ruin it
right now.
Oh no, who is it?
Hey, my boys. What's up, fellas?
Dude, you had me fucking rolling with the Onions comments when Cassandra was on.
Oh, dude, I know that's why you were laughing. I knew it. But honestly,
I couldn't stop
it changed my life.
I'm glad I changed somebody's life.
I used to burn water, bro, so I've come a long way since I've seen you cook. All right, so thank you. But Tyson, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm well, guys. I'm well. Listen, I just wanted to touch on some of the dysfunction that's already been touched on by everybody else tonight. So I appreciate you getting me in during this overtime because this show's running later than usual. So thank you. When it comes to Saleh, like obviously the press conferences are the cherry on top of the shit Sunday because they're fucking terrible. But you would be able to live more with that if you could see schematically that the team has certain things in place to where you're saying, you know what, at least they're being coached correctly. He's not throwing guys under the bus, but at least he's coaching them up correctly. We can't even hang our hat on that. Like that's not even present any week that I've seen this team play. On top of the fact that people have already made notes of this. We have a very similar team to last year and our defense wasn't anywhere near this bad. Why do you think that is? Because they're not playing for Saleh. Those guys were willing to run through a wall for Greg Williams last year. They would fight for that guy. They were ready to go tooth and nail for Greg Williams. They're not playing for Saleh. And that's an issue when you have guys that are on the sideline when we're getting our teeth kicked in, laughing, smiling, like we're the ones blowing out the other team. That's a reflection on the respect that they have for the coach or the lack thereof. It's not present. And it's just touching on Zach quickly.
Well, stick with the defense for a second. You're exactly right. The fact that they almost give up a scoring drive, the start of every game of almost the entire season is insane to me. That right there is you're not prepared coming into the game. I forgot the stat. I think it was like 8 games or 9 games. They give up a touchdown to start the game. Yeah. That's insane, man. That's crazy.
It's laughable.
That's preparation. Primetime, isn't that? That's legitimate preparation coming on the field. We used to rip Adam Gase and those guys for that. We ripped Todd Bowles for that shit.
Mm-hmm. Preparation is definitely a concern, but I don't think the players have quit, but I agree with Trav. I think the message is getting lost where the players just aren't fearful of anything, where they're just kind of going through the motions. You know, there's nobody that's really going above and beyond to try to get this shit corrected. They're just saying 4 weeks to go. And it's the offseason, and that's it. There's nobody that's really putting in that extra work that really wants to turn this thing around.
Guys are thinking about Cancun like Nick Van Exel in that timeout when he was with the Lakers. They're not focused on the season anymore. But you guys brought up
Well, what's the punishment? What's the punishment for playing poorly? Like right now, they have the worst run defense in the NFL. Has anybody been benched? Has Saleh said, you know what we're doing right now is not working? They play 60% of the snaps. We're gonna make it 75 and see who really sticks out. We're gonna make it 80. We're gonna change something significantly to see what difference it makes. Has anything changed?
No,
nothing.
No,
it's
but
execution.
you guys brought up leadership in the locker room and how Mosley's the only guy that really steps up to the plate. It seems like, optically, that's what it looks like. The reason for that is simple. The guy's got a track record of success before coming to the team. He was a Pro Bowler. He had been in a winning program. Those things need to be relevant when we're signing free agents. We're bringing in Jared Davis from the Lions. The Lions. It's why it's so important to get guys like Lindsley, who was with the Packers and know what it's like to be around guys who are winning. Thuney with the Patriots, who knows what a winning is like and has the authority to be able to speak up and say, guys, we look like shit. I know because I've been on teams that don't look like garbage. I know how to win, follow my lead. We got one guy on the team, which is Mosley, that can do that, and he's only on the defense. Who can the offense lean on to do that? No one.
Nobody.
Corey Davis isn't that guy.
Nope.
I mean, we don't have a guy in that leadership aspect, and that's where it falls on JD. He's bringing these guys in free agency wise, and they're terrible. We're spending this money overpaying guys that just are not. They're not elevating the team whatsoever, and they're not guys that can truly stick. If we didn't sign Davis and Sheldon Rankins, that money could have went to Lindsley because he essentially got 12, 13 mil a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would have loved to have passed on Corey Davis for the 12, 13 million he's getting and overpaid Thuney for 20 mil a year. You get Lindsey and Thuney on this line, we're looking at a completely different team. And that's something that is JD being an offensive line guy, you'd think he would make a priority. We draft one offensive lineman in the draft as well. Yeah, Vera Tucker's panning, but what are we doing? We just saw what happened with Darnold and how we didn't build around him, and that's why things went completely left. Why isn't it a priority to establish a good line when anybody in the NFL understands that a O-line and a D-line are how you win games? You win it in the trenches.
Yeah, but
I just don't get it.
But the other thing too with the O-line is it's usually a very cohesive unit. Like they bond. They go out to dinner together. They do this. They are one group. They're always around each other. And if you fuck with one of them, you fuck with all of them. And if you fuck with your quarterback, they're gonna slap the shit out of you.
Yep.
So you don't see that here, dude.
No.
What you see here is when something goes wrong, they point the finger. Not me, it's him. Not me, it's him. It's not my problem. It's Zach's fault. Like they're not a cohesive. They're not a united team here, man. It's not like
they're not a team in general.
They're not gelling together. Like you see other teams, man. Like we all watch football, dude. You watch certain things, certain happens. You'll see pushing, you see shoving, you see this. They're all fighting for each other. With the Jets, it's like, not me, man. Not my problem. That's your problem. Right? I mean, am I overreacting? That's what it seems like to me.
Spot on.
My question to you guys is then, obviously, it's a reflection on Saleh because he's the one who's instilling the not only the scheme, but also the culture or lack thereof, because there's nothing present. Do we realistically need to maybe go to another guy? I know people are saying it's too soon, but I mean, listen, the writing's already on the wall. I mean, what are we going to do? Completely overhaul the roster and bring in more guys so maybe he can get those guys to buy in? Because the guys that are presently here, it doesn't seem like they're playing for him.
Because this year is a test, man. It's a test for the coaching staff and all the players. And they're going to say, you know what? These are the guys we have, but now we realize that based on our system and our schemes, these aren't a good fit for us, and they have to go now. And they may have to make some tough decisions because you got to keep on. They inherit a lot of these players too. Like you don't know what these guys are until you actually coach them and see how they act on the field, off the field. So now you're just judging everybody. Like, all right, we thought player X is this, but you know what? He's not really that. He's a pain in the ass, and he's a slacker. He's out of here. Good.
No, I was saying the first year is going to be used as an evaluative year. Like Tyson was just saying, you figure out what you have, what you don't have, and now you got plenty of draft picks. You got a lot of cap space, and they're going to try to fill those needs. I don't see any way they get rid of Saleh after 1 year.
No,
can't see it.
But
I don't think they will either. But I just feel like he's a major problem with what's going on with the team. Because again, guys, like when he uses the verbiage, "I'm not here to motivate guys." Your scheme isn't elaborate or really looking like it's doing anything while I'm watching. Because I've watched enough football to know when I'm seeing good ball and bad ball. I don't care what you say at the presser. We look like an absolute shit fest. It's abysmal. I mean, it's grotesque to watch the game. I literally have to be heavily under the influence and watch you guys while the game is on to enjoy it.
I gotta watch this too. Shit.
I know. I don't know how you guys do it. God bless you. Honestly,
no, but
because
you're
without
right,
you
though.
guys, it'd be tough for me to stomach the game.
No, but
and
the
it's
thing
just
is,
like I don't see progress that he sees, and that's my problem. When do we see it? Do I have to wait till next year, near the end of the year? Like when is the progress going to be shown?
and the thing is too, is he does himself no favors by saying the shit he says in the press conference. Like when, like you said, like the thing is, like, you're not in Jacksonville, man. You're in the New York market. We're passionate fans. We know the game. We go to the games. We know what we're seeing. So don't lie to us. And when we see horrific run defense, don't say it's not the scheme. The scheme is good. I know my scheme. I'm not adjusting it. What? Like that narrow-minded, closed-minded statement, whether it's true or not, is not going to work here. Look what Joe Judge is going through right now with the bullshit he's saying. He doesn't get run out of town. Yes, his team sucks. His press conferences and the way he's handling himself is going to get himself run out of town. That's part of the job, and he's failing at it. Saleh's, he's walking a fine line with that shit. He's going to get a pass for a lot of things this year because it's a learning curve. He's got to learn from it, change it, do whatever. But next year, man, he's going to have to take a big step with his coaching.
Really quick before I end the call, because again, you guys are running OT, and I really appreciate even being on. I don't expect Saleh to throw players by name under the bus. I'll use Chauncey Billups in Portland as an example. He will trash the Trailblazers in the way they're playing without naming a guy. Yep. Our transition defense is terrible. We're not moving the ball enough on offense and hitting the guys that we're supposed to hit. Too much over dribbling, whatever. Yep. He will literally sit at the presser and sell us that the team played well after we just got smacked by 20, 30 plus points. I don't need you to call the guy out by name, but be honest and say, you know what, guys, this isn't good enough. We're not good enough on offense. We're not good enough on defense. The only guy who showed up last week was special teams, was fucking Barrios and Pinero, who we just signed off the street. Shoot me straight. Like, I know what my eyes tell me. Like you said, we're not in Jacksonville. We're not in bumfuck nowhere. We know the game.
Yep.
We pride ourselves on that as New Yorkers, whether it's baseball, basketball, football. The average New York sports fan generally knows more than any other market in most sports that they're going to watch and consume. So please, just tell me what's going on and shoot me straight. Don't embarrass yourself and embarrass me by sitting up there and saying those things, because I'm a fan of this team. I've been a fan of this team since 97, 98. And it's getting harder and harder because I'm getting to the point of apathy with them. And that's when it's a problem. When you're apathetic. That's when it's an issue. Either way, guys, I greatly appreciate you having me on. Much love, and keep doing what you're doing.
Great call, man. Dude. Great stuff.
Excellent call. This whole fucking show, man.
On fire. Holy
shit.
I gotta take a piss, dude.
I'm on my second big bottle of water here. Fucking, I'm properly hydrated. That makes you guys feel any better. So that's good. All right. What's up, Jake?
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, I got on late tonight. I had to do a 4-hour seminar, which was brutal to watch, but had to do that for credits and everything. I'm actually looking at flights right now. I'm actually going to LA for Super Bowl weekend.
Are you really?
I am, yeah.
Look at you. That's awesome.
I've never been to LA before, so I'm trying to see what airport. There's like 4 different airports in LA. Have you ever been?
I've been there, but not like years ago. I went to Anaheim. That was it.
Yeah, I got to go to like Newport Beach and Hermosa Beach. I've never heard of these places, but I have like a colleague that has a house there. So I'm going to go there a couple days early and check it out. But anyway, so that's something to look forward to come February.
There you go.
Yeah. So I got not much to really say about this game. It was a complete shit show. It was like watching the what was that Tim Tebow game, like with the Broncos. It was just like watching that all over again. It was one of the most dull, boring games I ever like witnessed in my life. It had no energy. The stadium was dead. It looked like everyone just literally by like the third quarter wanted to just leave. Like, and honestly, thank God, like my brother had tickets for a box that week. I had to say no in 2 seconds. I could not spare sitting watching that complete train wreck. It's just like what did we learn from this game?
Nothing. I
didn't learn anything. I learned absolutely nothing. It's another week of I don't know what Zach Wilson is. Another week of the defense just looks worse, and another week of just we have no talent on the offense again. I mean, losing Moore was when I heard about Moore being injured, I was just thinking like it's like go figure at this point. Like what's going to be next? I was like, is Zach Wilson going to hurt his knee again? It probably will happen again. He'll probably get injured again in the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Come on, man.
Really hate saying that, but it's like,
come on.
Let's face it. He's playing through injury right now. But it's
that wouldn't happen while he's playing bad. He'll have a good game this coming Sunday, and then he would get hurt. Like that's how our luck goes.
Yeah, it's just, I have not watched a full game of him from start to finish. And like I said, I'm not assessing him till the last week. Now, actually, I'll be happy. The fact that Buffalo is shitting right now and they'll actually have to have their starters like the last week, I'm happy because I actually want to see how how Wilson and that team will look against a Buffalo team on the road in the cold weather.
Yeah, they're getting no pass, man. They're all gonna be playing for something. Even the Buccaneers, they're gonna hunt for a playoff for seedings too. So they're probably gonna have the starters playing too.
I mean, the Bucs are going to the Super Bowl. I'm very, very serious about that.
I'm saying in terms of the Jets, they're not gonna get their B team. They're probably play the Bucs. They're probably gonna get a full strength Bucs team too.
Oh yeah. Well, I just got into the fantasy playoffs, so if I make the finals, I have Godwin in that game. So I'm all over the Bucs, completely just tormenting the Jets in that game. It's going to happen.
Better make the playoffs. How much you charge for other people?
Yeah, damn right, man. I already have my guys already made the playoffs, so I'm doing pretty good already. So,
oh my god,
I'm trying to win it. I want to win it. This will be for the dynasty for me.
All right, well, we got to get out of here. Jake, good talking to you, man. We will talk to you next week. We're like a half hour late already. Have a good night, man.
Have a good night, dude.
I'm tired as shit. I'm going through water. I'm hungry as fuck, too. I didn't eat yet.
I didn't eat dinner either. And I'm
so
drunk
now we always save the best for last because he gives the hottest takes. Some of them, but now he's got a lot of things on his plate right now because while he's going to sit here and try to rip the Jets, his own team is a disaster too. They bounce back, but Tyler Lockett did some good things. But the Seahawks are a mess, man. Yeah. He's going to lose his quarterback. He may lose his head coach.
He's pretty much a Jet fan now.
Jamal Adams is out for the year.
You missed it last week when we were talking about. He said when we were talking about the Jets. He said So he's pretty much a full blown Jet fan at this point. So we don't even need to talk about the Seahawks.
Look at this
at
guy. See what I missed?
He said So I mean, yeah.
So look at this guy. So he gets a big introduction too. Look at this guy. All excited. What's up, man?
Oh my biggest celebrity we have.
My guys.
What's up, man?
I know you guys are tired. So
never too tired for you, man. You and your bad takes.
I appreciate you guys giving me time.
Of course.
So I have a new punching bag. Would you like to know his name?
I absolutely would.
Is it prime time?
Robert Saleh.
Go off. Please do.
First of all, the Saints have no fucking receivers whatsoever. Put 10 in the fucking box. Single high safety. Let's a guy with a broken middle finger to you.
See how mad he's getting? He's a Jet fan.
And yet again, he said the stupidest quote I've ever.
He did.
We ran out of
humans. Fuck. I hate this fucking team.
Oh shit.
It's just we ran out of humans. What are we doing? So ridiculous.
I don't know who to hate more. Joe Douglas or Alex.
Blame both equally right now.
The Johnsons are you two for today.
Jesus.
Brandon,
yes.
did you see my comment when Cassandra was on?
Which one? I was watching most of the chat.
I asked.
I was trying to conduct a serious interview over here. I was the only one busy. Shit.
I asked. What's wrong? Cat got your top.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I had no interest in asking any questions.
Anyway,
Tyson, nails on a chalkboard.
Tyson.
Yes, sir.
So, if he says that stupid shit one more time in the next one, I will fly to Jersey and smack him in the back of the head.
I'm telling you, Jose, we are getting very, very close. Very close to an exclusive Robert Saleh interview on this radio show, on this show here. I'm telling you, we're close.
There's no going back after that.
Yep. I'm telling you. We're close, dude.
I have a video ready to
post
about the jerk.
Promote his channel.
The title is
call just to end the suffering. I just need to post it.
Do it.
But Tyson.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk UFC for a second.
Let's do it.
I wasn't surprised Pena beat Nunez.
Bullshit.
Let me finish.
I'm not even gonna let you because you are full of bona fide shit.
He saw
the
it.
entire world was
Let me
surprised by
finish.
that.
Let me finish.
No.
After the first round.
Oh, after the first round, he saw it coming.
Yes.
when she was fucking gassed.
No, because Pena tried to go for it, Kamara,
Right.
and then she went to the corner and said, "I can't get a submission." They said, "Start throwing punches."
Yep.
The camera goes to Nunez, and they're rubbing her shoulder. I'm like, oh, if this turns into a fight, she's fucked.
Yeah, but wait, but going into the fight, who do you think was gonna win?
Oh, Nunez, without a doubt.
Okay. All right, then. Okay, you're fine then.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
said it after the first round.
Oh, after the first round, she was exhausted, dude. You could tell.
No,
man,
they were rubbing her arm. They were rubbing her shoulder. And Pena's corner said, turn this into a slugfest.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird to see a champion act like that, man. And I love Amanda Nunes. She is one of the best women fighters I've ever seen in my life. But very weird to see what happened there.
One more thing. Can Herb Dean please fucking retire?
Oh, I hate Herb Dean.
Please.
How the hell does he get the main? Like, he gets the problem. He is the worst. Oh, he's just. And I know Dana White hates him too. He's awful, dude.
I'm not going to take anything away from Oliveira, but he was putting his hand through Poirier's glove. He got away with it.
I mean, he did that, but I mean, let's be honest. Oliveira was the better fighter, dude. He's much more well-rounded. He's explosive. He's got a chin. He could take every punch Dustin Poirier hit him with. He took it. I mean, he got rocked. He came back. He's an excellent fighter, man.
But Herb Dean has to see that shit.
Yeah, no, he does. He sees. I mean, he has to see it. He's a horrible official, but I mean, Oliveira is something else, man.
I
He's
take
good as
nothing
hell.
away from him. I did listen to Colors by Harry Mack. I enjoyed it.
See?
So thank you, Tyson.
He's interesting, man. See, I'm not a big rap person, but I just think it's wild that he could bring on somebody. Have you watched it at Primetime, Harry Mack?
I have not.
What he'll do is he'll talk to somebody like we're talking right now. He'll be like, "Give me 5 words." They'll give him 5 words, and he'll freestyle and include those words like within a matter of seconds, and it's incredible. It's the most remarkable thing I've ever seen. It's wild, dude.
I used to be able to do that.
See, and of course, there's always one person I didn't enjoy it. I found it interesting because it's just to just the level of rapping he can do and how it just it's pretty cool. I think.
One more thing before I go.
Of course.
I think the caller was Chris, the second Chris that came on.
Okay.
That said Wilson had compared to Wilson to now look, I compared it to Chapman.
That's good. Chapman's a better one.
Or Rick Ankiel. Rick Ankiel.
So wait, but I have a question for you, Jose, before you leave, because I've been wondering this. So I know you're an enormous Seahawks fan. You're a big Russell Wilson fan.
Yes.
So, and my goal is always to keep you happy.
Yeah.
So when Russell Wilson goes to the Giants, should I buy you his jersey and send it to you? Because I want you to keep you happy. Would you wear a Russell Wilson Giants jersey?
I would send it to a friend who's a Giants. I would literally send it to him.
So once Russell Wilson's gone, you're no longer a fan of his?
I will root for him, but I will always be a fan of him, but not.
So then once he leaves, are you gonna buy yourself a nice Geno Smith jersey and just embrace him as your quarterback?
Okay, since you brought this up, let's get into it.
Uh-oh.
As long as Pete Carroll is the coach, a 72-year-old
man does not want to rebuild.
He's
with
he's
a
retiring
rookie.
for the season. You're losing everything, Jose. You're losing your coach. You're losing your quarterback.
If that happens,
You're gonna be know what you're gonna be making for your YouTube channel. We're gonna help you for your YouTube channel.
videos.
You're gonna make Trust the Process Seahawk shirts. We're gonna make all the little colors, and you're gonna have your own process to start trusting.
He's gonna make Angels videos talking Syndergaard.
oh God, don't wish that on me.
You're gonna be trusting your own process now, my friend. You got a lot of process to trust.
What's up? What's up?
Trust the process in fantasy. That's all I gotta say.
That's my mindset. That's my mindset.
Now he's
I'm,
taking shots at you.
I'm building my foundation in fantasy.
Oh, hey, God. I know you guys are busy.
He's getting his building blocks.
But
Go ahead.
I know you guys are busy, but check out a video I posted Saturday. The thumbnail is a picture of me and George Lopez from.
I saw
when
that.
was
I gotta check that one out.
Oh, nice.
I gotta check out. I watch all your videos. I'm just a little behind because I've been so busy. I'm definitely gonna check it out though.
So anything you guys throw at me, I don't know because he would bust my balls like crazy. So.
Can I just ask a quick question really quick before we let you go?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just want to be sure. This is your fantasy league, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was because the way Cassandra talks, she makes it almost seem like it's her league. I know you brought her on to help.
Yes, I read it.
Commissioner, but it almost seems like she's
Because I
treating it like
needed
it's her league now. So I don't know how much help she's really doing for you, but
I needed all the help I could get because Rutgers was giving me shit.
How many commissioners do you need, man? It's easy. You fucking you draft players, you score, and your league's over. What do you need a co-commissioner for?
Shout out to Rutgers.
Rachel Goodell, call her.
Well, if Rutgers gives you a problem, kick him out. It's easy. That's how we roll around here.
How about that
Next
Rutgers game
year.
the other night where they fucking beat who is it? Purdue, number one.
Yeah, then they lost to Seton Hall.
Yeah.
Oh God. Wow, USC is in the top 10.
There you go.
That makes me happy. All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Jose, great talking
Have a
to
good
you.
night. Go eat dinner.
Oh, yeah, I'm starving.
Yeah,
dude.
that's what I'm about to do.
Have a good night, man.
Love
Good
you
talking
guys.
to
Cook
you.
some frozen
Love you too,
steaks.
man.
Have a good night, man.
I appreciate it. God bless. Good night.
Adios. All right. So thank you guys for joining us. We definitely ran late, but these are some of the best calls we've had in a long time, man.
Start to finish, you guys brought it. Great fucking calls.
So prime time, you have one job now after the show. The
I'm
hype
gonna-
call. The hype
gonna-
call has got to be up. That was definitely the call of the week for sure.
There's a few good ones.
Just so you guys know, I'm making a video, Daniel. Unfortunately, we have a problem with our vendor. They're dealing with the COVID issue right now. So we're doing our best to get the shirts out this week. It's now going to be December 28th, unfortunately. We tried everything possible to do it, man. We offered to pay more. I offered to drive down there and pick them up myself. I offered to do all kinds of things, man. It just didn't work out. So we will keep everybody updated. Right now, December 28th, I will have them in my hand, and we will start shipping them out. So talk to you guys later.
Have a good night.